Last attempt went bad. Let me switch over here. Boom. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay. So we're about to get it popping right now. So what's interesting about all of this is that Andrew Tate obviously interviewed Bonnie Blue. And well, actually, they both interviewed together with, I think his name is Rob Moore or something like that. So we're gonna literally watch this interview. I don't even know if I'm gonna watch the whole thing, but I'll probably watch a decent amount of it, probably an hour and 30 minutes, and we'll just go through. I'll give you guys some commentary. I don't usually commentate on specific things, but this was very, very relevant. So I definitely want to be able to tap into this a little bit.
Like, there's no way out for you.
You're so trapped in the matrix.
You're judging me, Andrew.
Feminism is a bullet that a man has shot.
Do you send your son the bonnet?
Andrew, I do father and son as well. Brother and brother?
It's all disgusting to me.
degenerate.
I heard they call you Cobra Tate. Are you packing a python?
Bro, she's cooked, bro.
Conservative, traditionally masculinely ruled world, a man would be in charge of his daughters until they're handed over to their husbands or boyfriends, and there would be a degree of masculine guidance. But feminism didn't want that. You know, women complain that men don't want to get married. We did actually want to get married when we got obedient virgins, but they disappeared, and they complained about the patriarchy, and they were tired of us giving them a house to live in and kids to raise, and they wanted to make their own choices. So she's making her own choice. That's a fantastic thing. I actually have a lot of respect for you because you own it and you're on it.
All right, I'm gonna just tell y'all this right now. It's a chess move. It's 100% a chess move. Like, everything he's doing right now is just putting chess pieces together. It's almost like agreeing and satire for disagreement. I already know where this is gonna go, but it's very, very interesting to see how he's even starting to frame this conversation right now. Like, I don't think anybody could have interviewed her better than this. Like, this is very, very interesting.
Honest about it.
What if it was your daughter?
Well, that won't happen.
But
That's the problem that I have with Tate, man. Every time people reflect current situations back on him, he's like, no, it's not gonna happen to me because I'm Andrew Tate. It's like, bro, you can't control what your daughters do. Like, you can't control what they're gonna do. You can guide them, but you don't know what they're gonna do. And on top of that, the women that you even had kids with, right? Those women were webcam women, right? So how do you actually instill that with your daughter? Like, it's hard to really give some defense in this scenario. Rob's really good at this. He's really good at, like, picking and prodding. So I appreciate that.
she's her own person.
I never said my daughter's her own person. I said I said
Are you
women
gonna
want to
be
be
a-
their own people. But my point is, there's so many women who go to Magaluf for a weekend and do something very similar, and then they come back to England and get with some fucking guy and start asking for presents from him and talking about how they deserve a traditional relationship and they want to get married and they want a Christmas present and all this bullshit. Most women do exactly what Bonnie does. I don't see you any different than most women. And I'm not saying that in a degrading way.
Most women don't sleep with 1,057 men in a day.
1,000.
Okay, now this is where it's interesting because he talks in hyperboles, right? He's like, oh, 1,000, it's all the same. It's not all the same. But the meta point that I think is interesting, and again, I'm not defending either side, but I'm just talking objectively, right? It is true. Women tend to do the same thing that Bonnie Blue does at a smaller scale, but they mask it as they're finding themselves. When it's like, you're sleeping with a, but you go to Dubai, you go to all these different places, you have all these different spots that you go to with all these different guys. They're paying you. So it's kind of the same. I see what he's saying, but also the hyperbole. You have to, you kind of have to be smart to understand, like, obviously he's not being serious about that. Like, 1 in 1,000 is the same. No, it's not the same. But I get where he's going with this.
Does it fucking matter?
I think it does.
I don't really think it does.
So
It's all disgusting to me. If I met a woman and she said, I just sucked a dick yesterday, I'd say, well, I find you repulsive. I don't want to sleep with you. Goodbye.
What's funny is there's women that he's probably been with that have done that. I'm pretty sure. Like, bro, come on. Like, be real with yourself here. Like, it's happened before, and you probably don't even know. That's the craziest part about it.
So you're only going after virgins?
Well, it's not about only going after virgins, but I think if you're a straight man, the idea of having a bunch of men fuck a woman that you're with is pretty repulsive.
Everyone has a past.
But see,
Facts. Everybody. I don't care. Listen, I don't care if you're trying, because all these guys, right? I see all these guys are like, I want a virgin, I want a virgin, I want a bro. That's not happening in this day and age. You're not gonna have that. You're not going to have a virgin. You're not. You have to deal with women who at least have some sort of a cleaner past. There's always going to be a past. In this modern time, there's always going to be a past. Andrew's probably living in delusion land right now, right? But the reality is, mostly all women have a past. Good luck finding a virgin, bro. Good luck. And honestly, I don't even think a lot of men want that shit, because there's a lot that comes with that. There's a lot of emotional attachments that men can't even tolerate, and they want that. So I think it's not possible.
When
This
you
is the
prefer
kind
your
of
girl
shit
to have
white people say.
experience.
I don't know what's wrong with you people. Everyone has a past. That's not acceptable.
He's trolling. Has to be trolling, because everyone does have a past.
In fact, let's analyze that. Everyone has a past. You're right. Everyone does have a past. It's true. But isn't the primary objective of a man to find a woman with as little past as possible? Would you argue that's one of the precursors to finding a wife? Considering that wives were supposed to be.
You know, there is some truth to this, because people don't understand the spiritual energy that comes through, like with sex and with all of these things. It's like women who sleep with like hundreds of guys, even like tens and tens and tens of guys, right? They have spiritual attachments with these guys. So when you get with these women, you're literally dealing with a lot of the spiritual attachments that they have. So it doesn't even make sense to be able to go after all these different women who's, oh yeah, it doesn't matter about your past. It does matter about your past, because it depends. You could have been entangled with a guy who has a really, really just shitty like energy that he has to him, and now that energy is carried over to you. Or there could have been some trauma that went on, and now that trauma is now put towards you. So it literally, bro, you have to be able to narrow this down and really understand, like, the past does matter. You're never going to know the true past of a woman. I don't believe you'll know. But what I do believe is that you can learn enough, you can see enough signs to understand, like, okay, this person has a little bit of a past, like, kind of want to chill on this. I don't really want to take that one serious. You'll see how they act too, because they're very emotionally detached when they have like a really, really like large past. You know what I mean? Like a past with a lot of guys. It was interesting.
Be virgins. This was the deal. The reason I'm proud of Bonnie, and I am genuinely proud of you. I like Bonnie. I like what she's doing. Because
of course you like what she's doing. You used to do the same shit. Oh shit! No, I know he's being sarcastic though, but it's funny as shit. Look at Rob. Rob looking like, bro, what the fuck is going on? I thought I knew you, Tate. You're lying.
The deal was,
Are you not like
bro's face
contradicting yourself here?
in what way?
Bro, I think Andrew got off a beam on this one. He probably took some Molly or some shit. I don't know. This is crazy, bro.
Well, you're proud of us sleeping with 1,057 guys, but women should be virgins.
No, I'm saying that the social contract,
Y'all, I think Andrew started drinking again. I think he started drinking alcohol again, bro. This is crazy talk. I get what he's saying, but it's not coming off good.
construct of society that made family function was women were obedient virgins, and they found a man who provided for them, and they listened to that man. Women have then said, we don't like the patriarchy. We're tired of being provided for. We're tired of being taken care of. We don't want to listen to anybody. We want to make our own decisions. That was women and feminism that ended the traditional family unit. And now women can make their own decisions. So I'm glad that Bonnie's making her own decision.
Yeah,
I'm not here
because
to
people
tell you not to do
say
it.
I take women back 100 years. I'm like, no, I'm the clear example of how to be empowered. I use my...
Yes, you are the clear example. You are the symptom to the problem. You're completely the symptom. That's what I'm saying. I've started saying this when I started to watch this and actually like see what she was doing, and like, you know, on X, she always posts us about like all the stuff that she does. You realize that like this is literally a symptom of a bigger problem. This is what feminism creates. Like literally, this is what modern day liberalist feminism creates, is this person. This person is birthed because of that. She's also birthed for other reasons, which we'll talk about. But this is crazy.
Body, I do what I want when I want. And this is the thing you've been banging on about for years. And when I get hate, like when I click on the comments of these women that are like, oh, you're taking us back 100 years, then in their bio it says stay-at-home mom of two. I'm thinking, what the fuck was you rooting for?
That's
because
right.
you have just stayed
That's
at
right,
home.
Bonnie. See, this is the future.
Yeah.
I'm
See, I don't know, man. Bonnie low-key spitting facts, though. I'm not gonna lie. Because here's the thing: a lot of the women who are stay-at-home moms, right? They're in these long-term relationships. They don't even have sex with their husbands. Their husbands are literally having blue balls left and right. They need something. So of course, someone like her is going to exist if you're not pleasing the man that you're with. And you can't even say that men aren't actually going through this, because she wouldn't be rich. She would not be as famous as she is if this wasn't an actual genuine problem in the households today. Like literally, this is a massive problem in the households today. And a lot of people don't understand this. A lot of people think it's like, oh no, men are genuinely sexually repressed, because if they weren't, she would not be popular at all. You would not see lines of men just literally waiting for her to just do whatever she does with them. Like literally, it's like line by line by line by line, every single event that she runs. It's crazy. It's the decline, fellas. Like, it's just ride the decline at this point, because it's not going to get any better.
This is the future. This is fantastic. It's exactly what Western society's headed to.
See, and what he's doing now psychologically is he's essentially making his point by basically making it seem like he is like with the whole feminine thing, right? The feminism thing, where he's kind of just like, yeah, see, this is what happened. This is great. This is amazing. And it's like sarcasm, where it's like, no, it's not. This is literally what happens when the whole feminism movement pushes forward, when it's free the nipple. Remember when Free the Nipple came out and all this other shit, right? Women wanted to be promiscuous. Women wanted to explore their sexuality. You do all this shit. That's what happens on an extreme level.
So why are we going to sit here and pretend this is not? Why are we going to sit here and pretend that most women who go on girls' holidays aren't doing something similar to what Bonnie does just because it's not on camera? Why are we going to sit here?
He's not lying, man. He is not lying. And as a man who has been on the recipient end of these girls nights out or girls holidays and shit, it's crazy what they do. And it's women typically with actual boyfriends that will literally just go crazy, and they'll do things that you wouldn't even imagine. Like, I've been shocked seeing this shit. Like, it's real.
Here and pretend that these men who walk around with their wives in the pub in England, and they're like, oh, my wife, yeah, everyone has a past. Oh no, she's done the same shit. What's the difference? Who gives a fuck, right? We're either going to care and accept that women are judged on their past and judged on their innocence and judged on their naivety and judged on these things like it used to be, or we're going to sit and say it doesn't matter, everyone has a past. Well, if everyone has a past, everyone has a past. Who gives a fuck? Does it really matter?
So
anymore?
What would you do if it was your daughter, though?
But why are you asking an impossible question?
Well, it's not an impossible question.
Of course it is.
How?
It can't happen.
But anything can happen.
It's against the laws of physics.
Yeah, now he's just talking shit. It can definitely happen to your daughters, bro. Like, it doesn't matter if you put them in homeschooling. It doesn't matter if you shelter them. Actually, if you shelter them too much and you hold them back too much, they're going to want to lean towards that even more, because it's resistance. They want to go against the resistance. So, I mean, it could happen, literally. We live in a crazy world where it's like, if you have kids, you have to be so tapped in with them. You have to be so in their lives, which I think that's a big problem for him. And again, I'm not a father yet, so I don't want to say that I know the answers, but I think you have to be in, especially with a daughter, you as a father have to be in her life 24/7. She has to literally see you as like the man, like the ideal figure that she's going after. Because if she doesn't do that, then she's going to look for that in other places. And I know Tate's always talked about like, oh, I only see my kids for an hour a week or something like that. It's like a good luck. If you have daughters, bro, it's a wrap. Now you're an absentee father. No matter what you give them, it doesn't matter. They're always going to try to find a father figure somewhere else. So you have to always be around, and you have to be an actual presence in your kids' lives. I do genuinely believe that.
It's not.
I mean, if your daughter opened her legs and took 1,000 dicks, it's not impossible.
Of course it is.
What? I
Why
mean,
is
the
it
dicks
impossible?
would enter her pussy, therefore she's taken.
It's literally impossible for my daughter.
What, are you going to be there against your daughter's pussy saying that dick's not entering it?
No, my daughter just wouldn't make that decision.
But why?
Because I still raise her in a household where she is masculinely guided, and she will be guided by me.
You got to be there all the time, though. You can't just leave and just go around and not have your. I mean, I don't know his personal life, to be honest. I can't really tell you, but I hope he's there, because if you're not there, they're gonna do that. A lot of women who fought like Bonnie Blue, I guarantee you, she probably didn't have a good relationship with her dad. I'm assuming, because a lot of women who don't have good relationships with their fathers, they genuinely go that route. They try to find father figures in every guy. They get screwed over by every single guy, and then now they're just kind of like there. So it's like you have to have some sort of a father figure, you know?
Until I hand her over to some other man. However, I believe when women are left to their own devices, they will only ever make stupid decisions.
Was mine a stupid decision?
I wouldn't say it's any more stupid than most decisions women make, to be honest with you. I think that most women, to some degree, are sex workers anyway. Like,
mean, yeah.
let's be honest about it, right? Most women look at
You know, he's not lying. He's not lying at all. I see where he's going with this, and I'm going to play this a little bit long, but I see where he's going with this. It's true. A lot of women do actually perform, kind of do what Bonnie Blue does, but low key. Like they don't call them, they would never call themselves whores. They would never do that. But they fuck around with guys for material things, for the lifestyle, for the trips, for the money, for paying rent. Man, I've seen women literally fuck a guy for rent. Like, this shit is crazy out here. I can't even tell y'all. Like, he's not lying.
Miami or Dubai. What's your job? Oh, I've got a boyfriend. So your job is being a girlfriend. And why does he give you money? Because you give him sex. So most women are sex workers
He's
anyway,
not lying,
to be honest.
Damn.
But isn't that what you said the family unit was?
Well, then you're a sex worker with one customer.
All right, now you stretching it, bro. If you really committed to one guy, if a woman's genuinely committed to one guy, she's not a sex worker, bro. That's crazy talk. I mean, the logic says by definition, maybe because you're providing, but then again, it's like, no, a sex worker, you work with a bunch of different guys. It's not the same.
You know, which is nice. I guess it's better. It's more efficient.
But what about if you're raising children? That's not sex work, is it?
No, that's being a mother.
Yeah.
All right, so that's interesting, Rob. Rob said this, not me. So they're either virgins, sex workers, or mothers. Are those the three categories?
I think you're putting words into my mouth.
This dude is genius at just debating and talking, bro. Like, I'm actually shocked at this shit. That's actually fuck.
I think that's what Rob just said. Those are the three categories.
I'm just sat in the middle.
And women have to choose to be one of them.
So is that what you think?
I think that when a woman becomes a mother, she has a purpose. And I think that women should be having children as soon as possible. And I think it gives their life a direction. And I think it's the most important thing to preserve.
I actually don't think women should be having kids as soon as humanly possible, because here's the problem with that. A lot of women, like, especially at a young age, from my experience seeing them, they don't really understand who they are. And men too. Like, we don't know who we are until a certain age. So there's a lot of people with kids now that I genuinely believe should not have children. Like, I genuinely believe a lot of these people should have 0 children. Because the minute that they start having kids, the minute that they start not knowing themselves, they start to teach their kids all of this BS, and they raise fucked up children, which is why we have the society that we have now, because children are being raised with people who don't even know who they really are. So I don't even think it's a good idea to actually have children at a very young age in this time.
Society, especially if you want to talk about geopolitics and talk about race and all of these things. If you want to have a country that looks like the country it used to be, you need to have the original people from there having children. I think all of that is true. Absolutely. I think every day a woman goes without having kids is primarily a waste of time. But once again, what does it matter what I think? Rob, I've given up. Rob, I've given up trying to save the world.
You know what's crazy? I think he's backtracking now because he has a case, bro. Like, he probably doesn't want to say anything because of his case. That has to be the only reason. I can't say that there's any other reason but that.
I've given up. No, Rob. I've given up.
Haven't.
I've given up on misogyny and all this shit.
No, you haven't.
They attacked me with the Matrix. They keep throwing me in jail. I am now all for women empowerment. I think women should run around fucking as many men as they want. I like what Bonnie's doing. She's getting the bag. She's getting rich. Most girls out here don't want to have kids. They just want to get Birkin bags and Instagram likes. Good. I'm a feminist, a pro-feminism. This is the world now. How the world's going to end up, who gives a fuck? Who cares?
He's literally on that ride the decline type shit. Like, I see why he thinks and why he's going this direction publicly, because it's what makes the most sense for where he's at. He can't talk too much. Like, he's actually afraid to talk too much. It's crazy.
It's about the future.
See, women go around, use sex to their advantage, but then are happy to cry about it straight away, saying, oh, he took advantage of me. And it's like, you're the one that wanted to do sex to have like the job promotion, or you're the one that wanted to have sex to get more attention or try and be more liked, but then they cry about it. And that's what I get frustrated about. And even with porn stars, like people in my industry, they'll do this for a few years, get the money, get the boob jobs, get the house. And then suddenly they go, oh my God, I was forced into the industry. Oh my God, someone took all my money.
Have you ever considered a job as a lawyer? Because
No.
I could do with
Yo,
you.
what?
You're 100% right. So this is the false dichotomy of society, right? So this is the reason when I said I like what Bonnie does, because Bonnie completely 100% owns what she does. And she says, it's my decision. And I've seen people try and lecture you. I've seen people sit there and try and lecture you and say like, oh, but you're a creature of God and you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, you shouldn't. The thing is, you got to let people be who they are. You have to allow for people to fuck up like this, Because the minute you try to like preach to people and do all this stuff, it's just moral high ground play. Like you don't need to be someone like her. She's already gone. She's lost. This is her role in society right now, which is sad as fuck to really think about. Like this is genuinely her role in society, you know, and it's absolutely insane. But even going back, because I'm actually reading I can finally read the comments now. This is dope. I'm gonna overlay this. The craziest part about this is like Tate is essentially like being pulled out of this podium that he's put himself on, so he can't say a lot of shit, even though I do think behind the scenes he might be trying to do a deal with it. I think personally, because he was in that same industry, he was getting women to do the exact same shit. So this isn't weird to him, you know what I mean? It's more like, let me just toe the line a little bit, let me not go too crazy with this specific topic, you know?
Doing this, that. No, you should do whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly.
It's up to you to do whatever you want.
You know what's crazy? I think if men actually started to talk to women the same way that Tate's talking to her, like I think there would be a completely different reaction. I think women would actually stop doing what it is that they're doing. If you just let them do whatever the fuck they want and just not give a fuck. I think that's one of the it probably drives women so insanely good to make a man upset by doing something he doesn't like. And these are women who are more like toxic. So the more that you keep saying, oh, feminism is bad, feminism, I say it too, but it's like women are just going to say, oh, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyway, right? So they're just going to keep doing that shit.
And you're not saying anybody tricked you into it. It's your decision. And let's be honest, when they talk about taking women back 100 years, let's actually be very honest here, Rob. No disrespect.
No disrespect.
There's always been whores.
It's the oldest profession.
Ancient Rome had whores. There's always been whores.
Flippy
the Aztecs had whores. You think there weren't concubines in the fucking Ming dynasty?
Flippy got it
sucking
right.
Little Chinese pee-pee? Of course there were. There's always been whores. It's the oldest profession in the world.
Exactly.
So do you think it's a legitimate job?
Well, I mean, no, check her bank. I'm sure she's making fucking loads of money. So here's where do you draw the line? If we're going to live in this false dichotomy, because the world was very simple once, not too long ago.
It's never been simple.
And men had this terrible misogynistic view, which I, of course, don't agree with, that women can't make their own decisions because they're naturally chaotic. And when women decide anything, life's fucked up. In fact, these men in their disgusting, these men in their disgusting misogyny believed if you gave women the vote, we'd end up with open borders and drag queen story hours. So they didn't give women the vote. Then they did give women the vote. And society took a particular
Bonnie Blue nodding like, you're absolutely correct, Tate. It's crazy, bro.
direction. But when men were in charge of things, women didn't have to worry about what they can do with their life because their father took care of it and then their husband took care of it. But now we live in a brand new world where women can make all of their own decisions. And the path she's chosen, I don't think is any different than most paths women take. I think she's just more honest about it and more upfront about it. If you're going to go to Dubai and meet a girlfriend and you think she hasn't been fucking for money the entire time she was living in Dubai, then you're an idiot.
Unfortunately, the man's not lying. I do think a lot of these women who travel a lot and go to all they got all these different locations. Like when I say, yeah, as a woman travel, right? Of course. But when it's like lines of just different things and like, there's a guy there, like you're on a yacht, you're doing all these things. Like, what do you do? Like that shit is real. They literally do that shit. They go out there and they just fuck around and they just get money for rent when they come back. Shit like that. It's crazy work out here. It's actually sad, man. Like the single guys, I don't know how y'all do it. Like I'll be paranoid out of my bro. I literally couldn't do that shit. Wouldn't trust a soul.
You're in Miami and you got girls on your boat and you think they're not fucking for money all of the time. Now they may not say per hour, but they'll be fucking a guy they barely like to get the rent paid, or they're fucking a guy they barely like because he has a car.
Yeah.
So women are fucking for money all the time anyway. That's all women do now. The entire Western world is women fucking for money. So
it's crazy because I remember seeing an Instagram post where there was like a guy who was, I think he had like $100 million in his bank account or something, and he had posted it. I don't know why the fuck anybody would do some dumb shit like that. And a bunch of women started hitting him up. And he's not lying. Like women, a lot of women these days, especially in the West, they look for like very, very rich men. Now, the interesting part about looking for rich men, like why women do this, is like they think that these rich men are just going to be loyal to them. If I'm already rich and you come into my life now, I'm not taking you seriously. I'm not. You're going to be a part of the rotation because you were never with me when I was down. You were never with me at lower points in life. And I think a lot of women don't understand this shit. And that's why I don't fault any man. Like, I don't fault a Tate for being how he is now, because it's like he was probably a guy who didn't get women when he was younger, and probably was a guy who was passed up a lot, and he got monumentally successful. Why would he marry anybody at this point? For what? You weren't with me when I didn't have anything. You wouldn't even know my name. You wouldn't even cared about me. So it definitely makes sense. It's interesting. But yeah, BNA says something interesting. Let me see. He says, podcast is equivalent of watching rats fight over food in an alleyway. It's true. I mean, it's two sides of the same coin, man. One's pimping out women and the other one's pimping out men in a good way. I mean, I think Tate has been a net positive to men as a whole. I think he's moved it forward in a positive direction. I think now he's kind of like figuring out what the next move is and shit like that. But it's interesting. Let me see. Flippy says, Martell, I'm telling you, being from Russia, it's almost the same situation here with girls. I'm sure. I'm positively sure. I'm sure it's the same situation in most places, to be honest, nowadays, because the internet is so big, like crazy. Everybody has access to degeneracy at this point. There's no hiding that.
So how hypocritical would it be for me to sit here and say, Bonnie, who is honest, who monetizes it directly with her own media empire, who's upfront about it and makes money from it, is a worse person than the girl who walks around like she's goody two-shoes and then sucks dick in a Magaluf toilet? Because that's what most girls are doing anyway. Bro, the world's fucked.
That is a fact. That, sir, is a fact. Women are doing some crazy shit nowadays. So it's not uncommon. Like what Bonnie's doing, I'm sure many women have done at probably a smaller scale because she's in the thousands. But like they're doing this shit with a bunch of guys. And that's my thing is like, I don't think people understand the spiritual repercussions that come with doing shit like this. Like, I don't think people truly understand. And let's see, Jersey says, 3 or 4 behavior is too accepted and normalized. You'll never see a woman's true past, only what she tells you. That's true. That's true. You'll never really know. You can get some like ideas just from how they act and stuff like that, because women with a crazy past are very detached. Like from my personal, they're just very detached from like situations. They can have sex and not like actually have any emotion tied to that shit. It's crazy. And I would rather have an honest devil, honestly. I don't like, deceptive devil. Come on. This is a really, really good comment. Do you prefer the honest devil or the deceptive devil? The honest devil, of course.
They're all like this. Rob, they're all the same.
Are you trying to say I'm not special now?
No, I'm saying you're special, actually, because you've gone so far through. You've come out as the queen of it. Congratulations.
Yeah. But didn't you say this kind of thing is the demise of Western society?
I mean, if I was a misogynist, I would believe this is the final end result of feminism, and the end times are here, and that nobody's going to have kids anymore, and that the idea of...
What I tell y'all, fellas, ride the decline. That's literally his stance right now. In this interview, at least, is ride the decline. What do I mean by ride the decline? I mean, literally, ride the decline. Like, don't assume that things are going to get better. Just ride the wave going downwards. And just accept things for what they are and be strategic about how you move. That's the best thing you can do at this point. There's no point in trying to hope for better days, hoping for back in the 90s. Can we go back in time when things were better? That shit is dead.
Of a beautiful marriage between a man and a woman is now completely gone. I mean, if I was a disgusting misogynist, but since they keep raising...
But you don't have one beautiful marriage, do you?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Have you slept with 1,057 women?
At least.
So are you quite similar?
I'm going to tell y'all, this shit is not something to be proud about. Like, sleeping with over 1,000 women is crazy to me, because it's like, there's no possible way that you don't have any spiritual repercussions for that. And I know I've been saying this a lot, but it's true. It's like the more that it's just as detrimental for women as it is with men, period. You sleep with 1,000 women, bro, like you're literally numb to shit. You can't even feel anymore. It's not the same. You know what I mean? It's just not the same. You have no depth anymore as much. Yeah, like for men, it's like a couple tens, cool. You hit thousands, bro, it's raps for you. You can't recover from that shit. I really don't believe you can recover from that shit. Women or men.
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because it's the male's prerogative to impregnate as many females as possible. This is the masculine.
I don't think it's the male prerogative to impregnate as many females as humanly possible nowadays. Right? I really don't think that shit's true. Like, I don't think we're supposed to be like the days of Genghis Khan. Like, bro, it's a completely different world. My problem with a lot of like the masculinity, like alpha male types, is they try to project us back in time when things were necessary to survive, and now it's like it's very, very different. So it's completely different. Let's see. Ken says something. He said, "The feeling of emptiness after the woman you don't love, it's a bottomless pit." Absolutely. Absolutely. Bottomless pit. I've experienced that shit.
Prerogative. This is biologically my prerogative is to do that.
I think we should do a breeding competition. We'll see if you can get a girl pregnant quicker than I can get pregnant.
Well, I mean, that'd be a good competition. I think I'd win. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one, but it's interesting because it's interesting because you have to look at society. When you look at these things, you have to look at society from an animalistic perspective and a societal perspective. From the animalistic perspective, it is the masculine imperative to get.
That is the problem. You cannot look at society from an animalistic perspective. Why? Because we are more advanced than animals. We have more thinking mechanisms than animals. That is why we are more advanced than animals. Everybody wants to take shit back to primal and be like, why do you want to be like a fucking animal? Like, for what? You have a brain. You can think. You can do things. You can rationalize. It makes you way more superior than an animal. So that whole idea, you can take different traits within the animalistic kingdom, but you can't say that literally we should just look at the animal kingdom. Look at what they do. The males just fuck every female. It's different. There's no emotional attachment in the animal kingdom.
As many women as possible pregnant.
Yeah, but if you want
if you want to be purely
it's
animalistic,
not 1512.
No, but let's be purely animalistic. Let's talk about this like professionals. If a man is high value, high testosterone, alpha male, whatever you want to call him, right? His imperative is to impregnate women. And he wants to take care of those women and take care of those kids. He's not overly interested in the kids. It doesn't mean he doesn't love them. It means he doesn't want to sit there and play with them all day. When you see a man who wants to play with a baby all day, that man is probably gay. It's fucking boring.
Well, it doesn't mean he wants to fuck the kid.
No, he's gay.
See, this is rage bait. So normies will look at this and get mad as shit because they probably did play with their babies like dads and shit like that. I take this is rage bait, bro. You probably did play with your kids when they were young, when they were babies. You probably held a baby. I don't think Andrew Tate did not hold a baby. Like, come on, bro. It's all bullshit. Like, you guys have to see through like hyperboles and sarcasm and shit like that. He's saying this for clickbait, literally.
He's gay. So real men just want to pregnant, money, cool. See you an hour a week.
I don't think real men actually want that, to be entirely honest. I mean, I don't. Maybe I'm not a real man because I don't just want fuck, pregnant, money, done, see you an hour a week. No, if I have a son, he's going to be around me 24/7. If I have a daughter, she's going to be around me 24/7. I need to imprint my ideals and my perspective on life into that child. So it doesn't make any sense. Like, I see a lot of men falling because they look at Andrew Tate as like this fucking hero, this messiah. And I respect Andrew Tate, but at the same time, you as a man cannot accept everything another man says. Now you're cucking to that man's ideology. You can take the good and remove the bad. I'm telling you guys, that's one of the worst things you can do because I've seen men do this. And the disconnection you have with your child is to the point where if it's a daughter, she will turn into a hoe. If it's your son, he will literally do some crazy shit just to get your attention. And he'll literally grow up empty. You have to be around your kids' lives. You have to. It's not an option. You need to.
Boom, boom, boom. Now, there's a lot of men who are going to disagree with me on that, but those are a lot of men I can beat the shit out of, so I don't give a fuck.
I mean, shit. He actually might be able to beat the shit out of me, to be honest. He did do kickboxing professionally. I just started kickboxing. That shit don't matter, though. I'm still right. I think he's wrong on that shit.
That's the truth of it. The female imperative is to find a man who's obsessed with her so that when she gets pregnant, she's going to have protection and provision when she's not capable of looking after herself. That is the female biological imperative and the masculine biological imperative. I'm still living to my biological imperative to some degree. If I were to, let's say, have 4 or 5 women and I had kids with 4 or 5 women and I took care of 4 or 5 women and I was with all of them and they were exclusively only with me and we had children over and over and over again, that's my biological imperative. It's actually against the female biological imperative to do what Bonnie is doing, I would argue, traditionally.
Yeah, it's like this is the thing that I always say, man. It's not about the tradition shit. Like, we're done with that. Unfortunately, right? You want to go back to olden times and travel time backwards. We're at a point now where you can't say that that's the same thing now. I literally don't think it. And this is the problem with this shit is like, imagine all of these. There are men now that like genuinely should not raise a child. They can't even raise themselves, let alone raise a child. Now you have all these men going to procreate and doing the shit that Tate does. And now they create all these damaged people, damaged children in the world, damaged souls that they keep procreating and shit. And now the world gets even more fucked up. So it's like it's not that simple. Never was.
But that means you break paradigms. That's great. But feminism and society and this brand new societal conditioning is convincing women that what they're supposed to do, which is find a man they love and be obsessed with him and get pregnant from him, is the wrong thing to do. Well, then let's all just become sex workers now.
But you disagree with that feminist program.
I don't have an opinion, Rob, because I have 14 criminal cases.
Boom, I told y'all. He's holding back because he has criminal cases. But at the same time, he's still sliding his real beliefs in there, but just kind of like framing it as satire. It's very.
I don't have an opinion. I'm just here. I'm a commentator. I'm just commentating.
Commentators have opinions.
I don't have an opinion. No, I don't have an opinion. Women can do whatever they want. Women are fantastic. We live in this great society now where women are girl bosses and better than us, while also are equals at everything, while also everything they do they regret was a man's fault somehow. As Bonnie described, they were tricked into it. So we live in this impossible situation where a man can't possibly win anyway, no matter what opinion he has. But I'm just saying it would be unprofessional and hypocritical of me to sit here and think that Bonnie is doing anything different or anything bad or anything wrong when she does the same thing 99.9% of Western women do anyway.
Okay, so Bonnie...
You get one extreme to the next. You get the women like me that are just sluts, and then you get the others that are late.
It's actually crazy to see a woman actually admitting what she is. I'm not gonna lie. There's some I don't respect what she does, but I respect the honesty for sure. Because there's a lot of women who are never gonna be honest with who they truly are and what they are actually doing. Like, at least she's being honest with what it is that she is. There's a lot of women who do the same exact shit, who say, I'm pure, I'm a saint, I'm this and that. Worst scums of the earth, ones that actually lie about that shit.
Lazy and won't even get on their knees and give a blowjob.
And they're sluts too. No, but this is the thing. They're sluts too. They're just sluts for a different guy, or they were sluts for their ex, and they're not sluts for the new guy. These women are sluts too. It's all the same.
Like, I used to be a full service sex worker, like an escort.
Oh shit.
And I used to judge men that cheated. And then when I actually started speaking to these men, I was like, you know what? They've got a point. They're going to work. They're looking after their kids. They're still emptying the dishes because the wife's now refusing to do that, saying it should be equal. And then I say, well, when's the last time she gave you a blowjob? When's the last time she fucked you? They couldn't name it.
All right. So this goes to exactly what the fuck I said. If you guys watch my recent video, right? My recent video said men are underfucked and overstimulated. And this literally proves my point. There are so many men who get locked into long-term relationships or are just in relationships in general, and they don't have sex for like months at a time. It's absolutely insane. Like, crazy. That's why someone like her exists. Women created her, men funded her. That's how this whole shit works. It's absolutely insane. And a lot of men were mad that I said that shit. There were some men who were honestly just remedial. And they were like, that's not true. That's not true. I don't agree with that. I don't care if you agree with it or not. It's the fucking truth. Because if it wasn't true, she wouldn't be popular right now. She would not have millions of dollars in the bank from men who are genuinely underfucked and overstimulated. And overstimulation meaning like they're horny, but they're not getting shit.
They couldn't even list the amount of times where they've had sexual intercourse. I'm like, of course you're going to need that. Of course you're going to cheat. So how can I ever?
I'm going to tell y'all this right now. And I don't blame men who cheat. in relationships where they're almost locked in that. I would say get out of the relationship, but sometimes you really can't get out because sometimes the woman will hold that shit over your head. To be entirely honest, women will hold that shit over your head, and you might have to stay for a specific reason. And I'll tell you, like, I've experienced this shit. Like, a woman literally threatened suicide if I left, and it's like you have to stay, but then you're in this relationship where it's like not good, and it's like those men, I don't blame them for cheating. I don't blame them if they're in a situation where they have to get out and they have to do that shit. I blame the women because they don't understand what men genuinely fucking want. If he's really attracted to you, he wants that. He wants that. He needs that. Men need to be fucked in relationships, period, point blank, as much as they possibly want. It's that simple.
Say women are anything but lazy and poorly educated.
So do you think you're a good role model for women?
I'm a clear example of what women have fought for years. Of
What?
taking control of your body.
Correct.
Being independent. I earn my own money. I don't rely on a guy. I'm
Girl
paid
power.
Exactly. I'm paid more than other
100%.
guys.
100%.
Do you think
She is a clear
bro, I'm
example
gonna
of what
post
women
this
have
one.
been
This
fighting
one was
for
really good.
for
I'm gonna post
years.
this one.
Absolutely correct.
And now they've
I'm
got
not
it.
going to
They're
sit here and
crying.
lecture you about God. I'm not going to sit here and tell. No, that's all bullshit. She is a clear example of what women have been fighting for years.
Yep.
Women believe that they can do whatever they want.
do you think they should be able to?
Listen, brother, I have 14 criminal cases. I don't
He's probably said this like 20 times, but like, it's true. Like, you can't fight the shit that's already there.
want to be called a misogynist by the BBC. That would break my heart. That's not up to me. We're all individual sovereign people, and we make our own decisions. If women want to run around and do whatever they want to do, it's up to them. My point is, all women, on some scale, are doing what Bonnie Blue is doing. However, Bonnie Blue's just the best at it. She's the best. She's the queen of it. So why? It's
Not all women are doing
Let me ask
that,
you a
are
question.
they?
Let me ask you a question.
Again, it's hyperboles, right? A lot of men, I really struggle understanding that a lot of men don't realize that it's marketing, right? When you say shit in a grandized state, you're marketing, right? But I mean, it's true. A lot of women do that shit. Rob's probably just like, no, that's not true. That's not true. It's like, bro, that shit's really true. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. It's like, as a woman, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a fuck, but don't make me take you seriously if I know that's what the fuck you're doing. Don't be surprised where it's like fun and it's like whatever, it's a one night thing and I leave. Don't be surprised at that shit. You know what I mean? Don't be surprised. You can do whatever the fuck you want. And this is what I've always said. Anytime I've been in the talking stages with a woman, it's always been do whatever the fuck you want. And I just watch. And here's the thing, fellas, this is game for you guys as well. This is like, I'm not a dating coach or anything, but I can tell you from my experience. When you first get with a woman, don't lay the groundwork. Don't say the rules. Don't say, I don't want you to talk to me. A lot of guys go in and they try to hit this exclusivity without being in a relationship. Let them do whatever the fuck they want. Literally say, I don't mind if you go out and just do your thing. Go out and let them do what it is that they want to do and make your decision if you need to leave or not. And say, look, this is just not going to work out for me. That's how you know. You can't be the guy who's domineering and who's trying to like keep her in this container in the beginning. You have to, in the talking stages, you have to let them be. You have to ask them what their craziest fantasies are. You have to do all this shit so you know who the fuck you're dealing with. Men can't get the truth from women because they judge them way too fucking early. That's game for y'all. Do not, and I repeat, do not show judgment with women early. Let them say all of their deepest fucking desires and judge whether or not you want to stay after that. And that's a fact.
If a man walks into Starbucks and steals a chocolate bar, he's a thief. Yeah, correct.
Not in London.
Well,
It's legal.
yeah. And if a banker manages to liquidate a ton of stock illegally in the stock market or rip off a bunch of people with a false investment fund, whatever it is, he's a thief, right? The morality is the same, whether you're stealing from the Wall Street or you're stealing from Starbucks. The morality of it is the same. But people will sit there and argue that the banker is somehow worse than the guy who stole the chocolate bar because of how much he stole. I wouldn't argue there's a difference in morality. There's a difference in capability. But the morality is the same. The banker's just smarter.
I'm just a clever slut.
You're just very good. She is very
You know, ride the decline, fellas. Ride the decline.
very good at what she's decided to do. If you're going to be a whore, and most women watching this, and most men, hello, your wife, yeah, her, they're all whores anyway. If you're going to be a whore, no disrespect.
Shit. I mean, here's the reality. Like, most are. most have been ran through. And you got to be okay with that if you have one. You got to be okay. Most have been ran through. I wish this wasn't true, but it genuinely is facts, unfortunately.
Fact. You may as well be fucking good at it. Get a media empire, get rich, let everyone know your name, and get paid. Why are you going out to the pub, getting drunk, and meeting a man who's funny and getting fucked in a toilet for free? Are you dumb?
They are, though. Women are stupid.
They're stupid. So Bonnie's just the smartest. She's the Wall Street.
Bro, the way this dude really can like do his wordplay is crazy to me. Like, he's literally calling Bonnie retarded, but saying it that she's the smartest out of the most stupid. It's so crazy, bro. Like,
Great banker of this whole shit. I respect that much more than these other girls. Rob, I grew up in Luton, England, bruv. You think I don't know hoes? You think I haven't seen it? You think I haven't walked in the toilet and some bitch has got 5 dudes hanging out of her? This is the Western world.
yeah, bro, England is cooked, bro. I remember I went there, man. They were going fucking crazy. Women were literally waiting outside the bathroom for men left and right, bro. And the crazy part is those same women, you would see them and then they'd be in relationships the very next week. They'd be with their guy the very next week. It's so sad to see, bro. Like, you go to clubs, man. Like, there's places I've gone, even in the US, it's like you go to clubs and it's like these women are just acting fucking crazy, grabbing, putting their hand. I remember I was at a club one time, a woman literally put her hand inside of my fucking pants. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? And then realized this woman literally was in a relationship and married the guy. And this was happening in a fucking club, trying to make out and shit, do all that crazy shit at a club, in a relationship. Fiance. You can't, bro. Like, I can't blame men for being really, really resistant towards relationships. I get it. It's fucking hard, bro.
This is feminism. This is what all you white boys wanted. All you white men listening to women all the time. Women get to opinions all of a sudden. This is what you build.
So
Rob like, yo, man, chill out, bro. Rob's like, yo, man, chill out. Jesus, bro, this is crazy.
Congratulations.
So you blame men?
Well, 100% I blame men because everything's men's fault because men are the only ones who can apply force to scenarios. Women can't apply force. Men apply force. If there's something we don't like, we apply force to the situation. We could force this away. We could force most things away. So everything's absolutely men's fault. And this came from, I mean, the feminism and the women's sexualization and the liberation, a lot of it came from beta males hoping to get some pussy. That's what it came from. Bunch of weak men, though. If we told girls to be hoes, I might get a little bit. Because the natural order of the universe is the big gorilla, top G, smart. I'm so fucking smart. The big gorilla, top G, has a bunch of women, and then the small gorilla has nothing. This is the natural order of the universe. It's actually kind of still like that in many ways. There's a guy with the yacht with 10 wives, and then there's a guy with no yacht with no wife. It's kind of like that. But
it is 99% versus 1%, man. Like, it's funny because all the women are going for like the top 1% guys, and they ignore all the 99% until they realize that they can't get with a top 1% guy and lock him down as the sole woman for that guy. So she then settles with a 99% rest guy. It's very, very, that's how it is a lot of the time. It's fucking crazy. Absolutely insane.
Males didn't like that because they couldn't obviously compete with the top guy. So they've tried to push this sexual liberation, hoping to get a little bit of pussy, and it probably works a little bit. But society's destroyed by extension. If you want to look at society for what it is, because what is society anything other than rearing and raising children? That's what society should be, I would argue. Society should be, the primary function of it should be, let's have kids so that we have a population. We have a population collapse in the West.
True.
Yeah, I think they should have a choice. I before used to think, oh my God, I really want kids. I want a family.
I want to know if Bonnie Blue will ever have kids, bro, because if she ever has kids, one, they'll have the DNA of so many dudes, and two, they'll have so much history that they'll have to watch about their own mom, bro. I would off myself if I was her child, bro. I wouldn't do it. Seppuku. What do they call it in Japan where you take the fucking, you take the sword and go straight into you, bro? I sacrificed my whole.
Because I was so naive to what else was open to the world. I just thought, okay, I need to get married. I need to, have children. I need to get a good job. And that was what I thought life was. And then I was like, fuck, there's so much more to life rather than just staying in that.
Yeah, sucking 1,000 dicks and fucking a hoe with like hundreds and thousands of men. That's what's more to life, huh?
You know, finishing school, going to uni, getting married, buying a house. And you just copy everyone else. Like half the shit we do is because someone else has done it.
Okay, Bonnie, so let me ask you a question. I agree with you that now that we've opened up female horizons with education, with jobs,
okay,
making money.
This is interesting
with
here,
Instagram.
right? So he said something interesting. Pika Squayats, I think your name is. Not true. There's ugly men for ugly guys, or ugly women for ugly guys, right? Now, here's the reality. Those ugly women, because they have so much access to guys, because they automatically just have guys talking to them. Yes, even the ugly women have guys that want to talk to them. They feel like they're better than that. So they go for men who are top tier, and they go for a lot of these guys, and they reject the ugly guys because they don't put themselves in the same category as these ugly guys. They see themselves as better than them. Even the ugly women, even the ones and the twos, they think they're like 6s and 7s, if not 8s, because they have so much access to these guys. So no, yes, there are ugly women for ugly guys, but those ugly women are not treated the same way as ugly guys are. You feel what I'm saying? It's different, bro. It's different. Very, very different.
And all these offers they get to fly around the world and all these things. Women don't want to have kids, or they want to have kids later because they have a lot more options. I agree with you. But would you argue, if you were to look at it selflessly, not about the ant, but about the ant farm at large, that keeping women's horizons more narrow so they focused on rearing children would be better for society than the current society we're in, where we have to import a whole bunch of fuck-nose who's into the country to try and maintain a population because the white people aren't even having any fucking kids because the white women are too busy sucking dicks in Magaluf?
Oh, shit.
Did you understand that?
To a certain degree, but I also couldn't give a shit. The world's going to shit anyway. So whether or not we've got more kids.
What did I tell y'all? Ride the fucking decline. All these people are now in the mindset of ride the decline. The world is going to shit anyway. So why not just keep fucking it up?
Isn't it or not? It's fucked regardless. So just live your life the best. You're going to be dead in however many years anyway.
Fair.
So don't stress too much.
Fair.
You still staying in this firmament, Bonnie. I'm telling you, coming right back here. Right back to hell. Shit.
Fair. And this is what I like about Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue is my favorite. This is my favorite everything. Fair. Because what you just said, I understand and I agree with.
But it's selfish.
But what have I
But
said?
why should I not be selfish? Why should I give a shit about someone else that pays less tax than me, has, you know, sits and complains, makes shitty TikToks about me? Like, I couldn't give a shit if your life's going to shit. By the looks of it, you live in a council house, you've got a couple of kids with different dads. I don't care.
What's interesting is Bonnie Blue literally sounds like a dude, man. I know a lot of people have called her a transformer, but the reality, I don't think she actually is trans, but I do think that she has a masculine mindset, which is why she is how she is. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely believe that shit wholeheartedly.
So why should I sit there and think, fuck, I should do something to help you? I don't care. I should focus on myself. And if more people did that, the world would actually be a better place. But they become so fixated on other people. I'm like, where's your life? Why are you not focusing on yourself? Like, look in the mirror, you're fat. Go and do something about it. Your teeth have that much plaque on it. Like, you're fucked. Like, there's no way out for you.
No, but what
Is this a good role
Yes.
model?
No, yes, because no, but what
No,
Bonnie,
yes.
no, what Bonnie's saying is important here, and
Yeah, she literally is, and literally fucked beyond repair, bro. Like, fucked beyond repair. It's not even funny. Cooked. Absolutely cooked.
it's not about what she's saying. It's about the general attitude. Because what I want to make clear, the reason society was run by men for so long is that men have a different biological instinct to women, and we're prepared to suffer for the greater good. Women are not very good at suffering. Men are good sufferers.
Look back at the wars. There's so much evidence of it.
Well, of course. And also, let's just look at the normal family. You talked about these men who come and see you, right?
Yeah.
But happy wife, happy life is true. And the reason it's true is because if the wife is unhappy, everyone's miserable because she'll make sure of it. But if the man's unhappy, everyone else can be happy. He'll suffer. He'll sit with no sex. He'll go to work every day.
Yeah.
He won't see his friends. He'll be miserable. He'll be depressed. He'll still pay the bills. He'll still pay the taxes, and everyone else gets to be happy. Men are good at suffering. Women are spiteful sufferers. And for that reason, they struggle to do anything. They struggle to suffer themselves for any greater good. Men have always died for a greater good. Men have always said, this is bad for me, but it's good for society. Bonnie just quite correctly, quite pertinently highlighted the fact that she believes in living her life the best way that she wants to live so she is happy. And I agree with you. That's what you should do. That's fine. Because you're a woman. That's how women think. Women don't think I shouldn't do this because I care about society by and large. Women don't think that way. And once you understand that logic, you can extrapolate that out to the fact that women shouldn't be in charge of a country.
Oh, there we go. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me now? Tell me this is good. I had to turn this back on. Tell me y'all can hear me. Yes, no, give me a yes. Somebody say yes, you can hear me. Real quick, fellas, I want to keep this thing going. I'm going to keep this thing going.
Ever. Because men are not prepared to take a bullet for a country. Ever.
I mean, I guess I contradict myself a little bit because I help society out a lot. And I do that because well, do you see how many dicks I drain? How many balls I've been emptied out on my face? How many cream pies I've taken and scooped it out? Like,
And how does that help society?
sex workers help. Like,
You know what's crazy? And y'all are going to hate me for this shit, right? Y'all are going to hate me for this shit. She actually, no, I'm not going to say it. I don't think it's true. She is helping a lot of men mentally. It's really fucking weird. And I'm not saying what she's doing is good. I'm not. But what I'm saying is there are a lot of men who genuinely go through mental issues and are genuinely hating themselves and are offing themselves because they cannot have sex with a woman. I believe that there are a lot of men who die virgins versus there is probably not a single woman who dies a virgin. Genuinely, I do believe that. And now while what she's doing, like that shit's degrading to her, but to a lot of these guys, it's like they literally have never touched a pussy before. They've never experienced women at all. So it's a whole different, it's crazy. Like, I don't agree with what she does at all, but there are a lot of men, there's a reason why a lot of men are lining up for this shit because they don't have it. They're underfucked and overstimulated. I'm gonna say this shit again so I can piss some more people off. Men are underfucked and overstimulated. They're not getting sex when they're in relationships. And this is a one thing too, like in previous relationships I had, the one I have now, I'm solid, I'm great, happy, right? In previous relationships, it's like I would always want to be single because in relationships, you get less sex. At least in my previous situations that I've had, right? I experienced that with like Western women, you get less. And then when you're single, you get more. So as a man, you now want to be single all the time because you're like, I can just fuck around I can get it. I have access anywhere. But then when you get in a relationship, you close that shit off. You know what I mean? It's very, very interesting.
like reduce rape rates by over 30%.
That sound like a stat you just made up.
No, Google it.
Yeah, that's probably true. Mental health, it's good for mental health as well. It
The
stops
true
men
fact is
killing themselves.
32%.
Yeah, stops men killing themselves. Sex work's an important part of the world.
So imagine like if you're
Are you
a
saying that because you had a
rapist.
webcam business?
I'm not saying that because I had a webcam business. I'm saying that because it's absolutely and utterly true. The only point I was making earlier about,
You know, I think it's interesting because bro had a webcam business. So you were basically, and I know he said he was the operator behind the screen. So you're basically allowing for other guys to get off and you're making them get off. You're using human psychology to get men off. I don't know, bro. I can't really respect that, but again, it's a hustle, whatever.
women being in charge, I was actually trying to get to a final point. And the final point, I would argue, is that Bonnie has done no damage to society compared to giving the women the vote.
I've basically been a community worker.
Absolutely.
For example,
do you vote?
Cooked.
Not to be honest, I don't really know what's going on in the
Okay,
world.
so do you vote?
No.
Okay, she's perfect. She's out here. She's sucking
I am
dick.
wife
She's
material.
sucking dick. She's not voting.
All right, Tate. Wait till your kids do the same shit, bro. Wait till your kids do the same shit. You can't, bro. Words are spells, man. You start saying that's all right. You start seeing your kids act crazy, bro. I know he's probably being sarcastic right now, but man, I don't know.
This is the
I
kind
don't
of
know,
women we
fellas.
need. This is done. This is fine. If we stop women, we tour.
Skip this.
But I said, yeah, women are sex workers. You can either have a bunch of customers with OnlyFans, or you can have one customer called a husband or boyfriend. Or you can be ugly, and unfortunately, then you gotta get a job. But if you're
It's funny because even ugly women don't need to get a job because they still have men who are trying to go for them. That's the skew. Like, fellas, I hope you understand that's the skew in society right now, which is why a lot of men don't have any sexual access whatsoever, because all of these women are literally going out there and they're bottom of the barrel, and they're finding guys who still want to have sex with them, who are still attracted to them. It's easy for them versus the guy literally cannot get that shit. Let me see. Flippy said something that's interesting. I want to put this shit up. The problem, I guess, is that guys are sluts as well as girls nowadays. Just as you said, doesn't really matter if you fucked 1,000 people being a man or a woman. Yeah, it really doesn't matter. Like, literally, it does not matter. Like, either way, it's fucked, bro. Like, you go through that process. Like, I can tell y'all openly, like, I haven't crossed 100. I haven't crossed 100. I barely probably crossed 50. I don't even think I've crossed 50. I didn't fuck around like that. I had moments like that, but like this shit is crazy to me. For Tate to be proud to hit 1,000 versus Bonnie be proud to hit hundreds of bro, this is insane to me. Crazy world.
pretty enough, you don't do that. You find a boyfriend or a husband or a sugar daddy, whatever you want to call him, and he's paying your bills. Go to Saint-Tropez, Monaco, Cannes, go to Miami, go to Dubai, go to Hong Kong, go to any of these cities and find a beautiful woman and ask her job. She either doesn't work because her boyfriend takes care of her, or she has some bullshit vanity project which loses money that her husband pays for. Owns a flower shop that loses money each month. Great. Businesswoman. Independent. Bullshit. Women are only ever been sex workers. Women have only ever translated their pussy into money, or pussy into provision, or pussy into protection. That's all women
I really wish he was wrong, but he's not.
have ever done. Let's talk about the ancient days. When the ancient
Can we
whoever's,
not?
the tribe got conquered by another tribe. You're saying
I think this whole angle is played out at this point. We don't need to talk about old days because clearly we're in a completely new reality of life. This is a whole fucking different timeline. You can't compare this shit back to the Mongols and shit like that, bro. That's just, let's not do that because it's not the same. You can't bring that shit back. Even if you're trying to do it, you can't. You'll have such a skewed perception of life. And you know what's interesting? Even Tate's actual position on this whole thing, oh, just fuck a bunch of women, have a bunch of kids with them. That's why he's in the fucking position he's in now, because the Me Too movement. That's what I'm saying. It's not the same. It's not the same as before. Women can literally cry grape for anything, right? It's not the same. You can't go around. And this is why I always tell men, it's like, y'all think I'm just saying, I'm not coping when I say this because I've always had the options, but locking down and being in a long-term relationship with one person who's actually solid will benefit you in the future. I guarantee you, because this Me Too shit is getting worse and worse and worse. Men's reputations are getting worse. They're getting worse. If you're somebody who values yourself and you're somebody who genuinely is going to go far in the world and somebody who genuinely will do a lot in this world, you have to be very careful with trying to fuck a whole bunch of different types of women. Why? Because that's going to backlash on you. That's what's happening to him right now. All of the advice that he's telling you right now, look at the position he's in. Look at all of the women who are genuinely going after him and trying to take everything that he has and trying to put him in prison. Look how they're being used against him. Look at how they're using themselves against him out of spite. Think about that. It's horrible.
around, there's 100 men, there's 100 women, the 100 men go out to war, they lose, the conquering tribe comes and takes over the ground, takes over the women. What do the women do? Here's some pussy, don't kill me, please.
It's not 1,500 anymore.
No, but it doesn't
Thank
matter.
you.
That's what that's all they've ever done. And I'm telling you now, you know you watch Hunger Games and there's...
Bro, I'm telling you right now, Andrew Tate likes to talk about Genghis Khan, right? Fucking like 100,000 women or 1,000,000 women. Genghis Khan would be in prison right now. He would have had a bunch of kids and shit, and he would have had a bunch of women who were mad and said some shit and put his ass in prison. So that shit doesn't work nowadays. You can't be going after like old times and shit like that. Shit doesn't work.
Fucking Katniss Evergreen run around with her bullshit fucking bow and arrow. When World War III finally comes, you're just going to see a whole bunch of women hooking. That's all they're going to do. They're like, shit, World War III, I need money. I need a man who can protect me.
Or they just move somewhere else. Shit, it's easy. Mobility is easy now.
Here's some pussy. Anyone?
I would have fucked Hitler to survive.
Of course. Women will fuck anyone to survive. Look at France in World War II. You hear about the war brides? They all had their heads shaved. You know about this? Oh, you didn't know. And walking down the aisle holding her hand, doing the whole humiliation ritual. I see the whole thing. Everyone, how it works.
Everything we've said you'd learn in history at school. Everything we're saying is factual. We're not
what
just
would you
saying,
learn in history at school? About,
I didn't really listen too much at school, but yeah, I learned at school that people had their head shaved.
Yeah.
Like you learn about what happened at the war, and that happened.
Yeah, that man Tate got his head shaved too.
And that's factual. You didn't ever learn at school, oh, the women went to war. No, of course they didn't. They stayed at home. They cooked. They had the house ready. Like so, it stayed the same. Everything we're saying is factual.
Yeah, like Rob, what have I said that's incorrect? And the reason I'm saying all these things is to highlight how it's awfully hypocritical. Man. For anybody in modern Western society, anybody who believes in women's liberation, anyone who believes women should be allowed to vote, anyone who believes in women are allowed to lead a country, anyone who listens to their wife's stupid opinions on anything, to give Bonnie a second of hard time. Because it's all the same thought pattern. It's all the same thought process. If you're a man who says, I have a wife and we got married when she was a virgin and she doesn't vote and she obeys me absolutely and I'm the king of this household, then maybe you could have an opinion. But if you're going to sit...
I think Tate would have did really well back in like 1900. Probably would have did pretty well for himself. Now that shit doesn't look like it's working too well. Just, I mean, money-wise, cool, but like, look at the situation. Look at the court cases. Come on.
They're going, oh, my wife has a past, but I love her anyway. Then fucking shut the fuck up. And that's 99% of men. Rob, do you understand that about 3 times a week, I see a woman I've plowed get married on Instagram? Do you understand? I see it. I see the man walking down the aisle holding her hand, doing the whole humiliation ritual. I see the whole thing. He got on one knee. And I just watched it. I was like, bro, what the fuck?
You guys have to understand, when Andrew Tate does this shit, I've been telling people this a lot, and people start to recognize it. Andrew Tate is somebody who has not met, like he's buried his inner child so far back, so far inside that like every time he sees a man that reminds him of his inner child, he literally hates that because he hates himself. He literally hates his inner self. It's all inner hatred. So like when a man goes and gets married and shit and he sees a man do all of this stuff, he gets mad because he was probably humiliated when he was younger. He probably had a bunch of situations with women. And so now he's reflecting that shit on another man who's doing something that he now calls a humiliation ritual. That's not true. That's just his inner child. He hates that shit. When he looks in the mirror, he fucking hates what he sees. I promise you, because it's all a facade. He probably hates the inner child. And again, no hate to him. I'm just giving you the God honest truth of the situation. A lot of these men who are hyper successful, they closed off their inner child like early. They didn't bring the inner child. And when I say inner child, that 13-year-old you that was humiliated, that may have been in a tough situation, that may have been ridiculed, you shut that person out and you basically self-improve yourself to be this new person. And now all of a sudden, that 13-year-old you is literally just like knocking, like, can I see what we've done so far? And you're not letting that person come with you. Now you're not integrating the shadow. You're not integrating that. Now I'm talking spiritual, but it's true. You're not integrating the shadow. So now you start to wild out and you start to just go crazy on everybody who reminds you of your inner child, of the innocence that you once had.
There's anything wrong with that though?
No, but there is.
But why? Like,
because I know what happened that night.
But people
so
have
it is.
Fucked.
Well, aren't you under investigation for things like that?
Give a fuck. But the point is this. If that man's gonna go, everyone has a past, then who is he to comment on anything else? Because her past was me, sir.
So are all of your girlfriends virgins before you?
Here's where you have to, as a man, do your best to find a woman, if you want to take her seriously, with as little history as possible, if that's the kind of thing that bothers you.
And does it bother you?
Well, it depends.
I mean, surely your best place to go then is high school.
Well, we have to be careful. I'm under investigation here.
Honey, if you don't shut the fuck, Let the man. So she literally ruined. This was a perfect question Rob asked, and she fucked it up.
But it depends because there's different categories of women, right? Everything in life is actually fine if you keep everything in the right place. If you use a fork for forking and a spoon for spooning, everything's fine. It only gets confusing when you try and mix the two up. All men love whores. Men love whores.
No, they don't.
Well, good.
They really fucking don't. All men don't love whores. You might. Not all men love whores, bro. That shit is disgusting. They love it when they're desperate and they don't have any access. Which, again, could have been his situation when he was younger. Who knows? That may be why he has that worldview.
Good technique.
Of course. Any
Andrew
man who
knows.
sits there and
Do
says
you love whores then?
any man who says he doesn't love whores is
Look,
a
see?
fucking liar.
So you love whores?
Well, if I'm on a boat in Miami, I don't want
Would you
nuns.
prefer a blowjob with your teeth or the mouth? You need someone with experience.
Well, if you want girls who are just a good time.
Didn't he say that he doesn't even like sex?
They're not going to be that emotionally invested. They're probably going to be sluts. If you're going to go to a party with 20 women, you want women who are just a good time. Good time women are hoes and men love hoes. But men want the dichotomy because we want our cake and eat it. We want a wife and we want hoes and we want both. It only gets confusing for a man when he puts them in the wrong category. What will happen is a man will meet a hoe, fall in love with her because he can't control himself. And
This is true. I've fell victim to this shit in the past. I know a lot of men who have too. You meet somebody, they're a hoe. They treat you a certain way, and then all of a sudden, they start wilding out. They start cheating. They start doing all kinds of shit. And you're like, what happened? How did that happen to me? It comes with experience. The more experience you have, the less that shit happens to you.
then try and say, oh, no, she's wifey because he's in love with her because he's an idiot. But if you're me and you can sit and go, okay, that one's a good one. She's wifey. Those are the hoes. They're this. And you just keep everything.
All right, I'm
But
good.
if I'm thinking of marriage, it's completely different.
Okay.
No, you can't think of marriage, fam. Bonnie, you're cut. You're cooked. There's no marriage for you. Actually, there might be. I think she actually might be getting married right now. This is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter how bad a woman fucks up in life. There will always be some guy that comes and picks her up. It's not the same for a man, though. You can fuck up in life and literally end any option you could possibly have. You can be the worst fuck up ever, and nobody will ever pick you up. Women know, you can see it's very obvious. She's literally arguably one of the worst fuck ups when it comes to being a woman. And look,
So even in Bonnie's mind, there are people she treats a certain way and respects in a certain way, and there's people she has sex with without any emotional attachment. That's exactly how it is as a man. There's a woman you'll treat a certain way and have a certain amount of feeling for, and there's women you just fuck. That's it. So everything's actually fine. Men saying they hate whores and they hate all this, that's all a fucking lie. Men love whores.
no, they don't.
So you're asking me, my girlfriend.
Men love sexual access. Men love having sex. If they don't have it, they're going to love the person who's going to give it to them. It's very, very simple. Very, very, very simple.
Well, I mean, it depends. If you catch me on a boat, if you catch me on my yacht with 25 women, are they all virgins? Fuck no. But do I have children from some virgins? Yes.
If you ever host a virgin party, count me in.
How would you get into a virgin party?
I love Rob, bro. Rob gotta be the funniest white dude I ever met, bro.
Well, no, but I'll be there to take the virginities. I'm obsessed with it.
Why are you obsessed with taking boys' virginities?
Well, just like how Andrew likes 18-year-olds.
Wait.
Oh shit! Look! Bonnie's throwing actual fire right now at literally. Well, I like and again quoting Bonnie. Bonnie says I like 18-year-olds, just like Andrew likes 18-year-olds. Damn near the same people. I don't know. You tell me.
Wait, careful now.
Sorry, should I go
I'm
younger?
under investigation. What I have said.
Andrew, 18 is a legal age. I don't know what you class as legal.
No,
but
18 is legal. You're right.
Yeah.
But the reason, actually, and it's interesting you said this, but the reason men prefer younger women is because they have less history. That's why. The
Yeah.
average 22-year-olds live less life than the average.
No, that's actually not true. I would say, and it's really like these red pill, like alpha male type guys that prefer these fucking 16, 17 or 18-year-olds. They prefer that shit because they can control them. Because any bullshit that they say, anything that honestly makes zero sense, which a lot of the shit that these guys say makes zero sense, the woman will just take that shit and run with it. Now, older women who's more mature is not going to take that shit. She's going to question the shit that you say. And you have to be able to be so good at knowing what's right and what's wrong to be able to justify it. No, it's men who literally are fucking little kids in a big boy's body that like fucking 19-year-olds at the age of 30 or 35 or some shit like that, bro. Come on. Come on. It's because you can control it. You can control that person. They like the fucking control. Now, what's interesting is if you're socially intelligent, if you know how to handle shit, you can dictate a woman that's older. If you understand how the mind works and you understand persuasion, you understand the shit, you can do it. But a lot of these men don't even want, they don't give a fuck. They just want like younger fucking women, like super, super young. And Michael says something right here, right? He says, older women have more trauma, bro. What do you mean? Not all of them. Some of them do. Some of them do. There's men who have trauma too. There's women who have, there's younger women who have trauma. There are fucking 19-year-old women that have been raped at a very young age. Literally. I know this because I've heard of this shit. It doesn't matter about that. The age matters, but at the same time, bro, there's women who literally, they have issues at a young age. Older women, I mean, depends on what age we're talking about. Depends on if we're talking about, I'm talking about like early mid 20s, bro. Like, I'm not talking about 35s, 40s. I'm not talking about that shit. We're not going that far. Once you get 35, 40, you got to go with somebody who's your age, bro. Like that's it. I'm talking about young versus like mid-aged.
Average 30-year-old. That's why men prefer younger women in general. But sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just clarifying because everything gets clip farmed and before you know it, I'm back in handcuffs.
So not 18, 19. But I'd happily take an 18-year-old on their birthday. Like
Why?
Closer to 18. I just want them, to be young, innocent. I want to strip.
Literally, he has the same mindset as a fucking like man child, bro. It's crazy.
Them from that. I
Yeah,
want to
steal
take
their
innocence.
innocence.
I want to watch
You see, he's like, yeah, steal their innocence. That's what I do.
their
Sang
toes curl up as they come for the first time from a girl. Like, I love that. And I also think
Yeah,
it's educational.
that's what I'm saying. Mitchell,
So
I'm not talking about
I'm
35.
obsessed with it.
35, you're
Educational.
cooked.
You think about sex education at school. It's from a middle-aged teacher that's not been laid. And they basically say you have sex or you're probably going to die from STD. There's no information. If anything, they should whip up one of my DVDs, put it on screen and show, look, that's how the dick enters the pussy. This is how you get a...
No, they shouldn't put your shit on the screen. The fuck? No.
girl wet. There's none of that. So me having sex with them shows this is a woman's body. Yes, a woman's Andrew, not trans. And
I don't think you're trans.
and
We'll come to that.
they don't know how to pleasure a girl. They've not touched a girl. They've just watched videos, online where they're slapping, they're choking, they're hair pulling. And then they go to do it on a woman or a girl for the first time.
That's
She's
terrible.
probably going to cry rape for the next day.
Yeah, you're probably going to get a criminal charge of that. You're probably going to
Yeah.
get sued if that happens. This time.
Probably talk from experience there, but
This is a really good point. I wanted to put this up. Most of the stuff on the internet is to shock, enrage, or grab attention, bro. Absolutely. Trust me. I know. That's why some of the shit that some of the titles that I put, some of the things that I put, I use it as shock value. A lot of y'all don't even understand that shit. A lot of y'all say, why'd you say it like that? How'd you say it? Because I understand marketing. That's how you get attention. That's how I've been able to grow on social media is because I understand marketing. I understand attention. Now, and I understand hyperboles, right? But now the real problem, like you said, 70% of America is overweight, 100%. That's a massive problem. That's the real problem that's going on. It's impulses. You're right. It's not it's people versus their impulses. That's the biggest problem. It's women with their impulses and men with their impulses. That's what it is. It's the biggest problem right now. If people could control their impulses, I think we'd be in a better society right now. I genuinely believe that shit.
like with me, I love educating them. Like they've never fingered a girl before. They've never.
So you
learnt what
educate
they
your
like.
guys when you sleep with them.
Not all the time. Some of them are in their 80s and their wife's dead. Like they've been having sex for years, but some are.
You see, motherfuckers be in marriages and relationships, haven't had sex for years, versus their wife is probably fucking around with the trainer or the massage therapist or the chiropractor.
Are 18 and haven't lost their virginity. They haven't been having sex. So I love lying there and saying, look, do whatever you want to me, trial and error. And if anything, I'm protecting women, because then the next girl they sleep with, they know how to choke properly, they know how to slap, they know how to fuck, and they know how to pleasure her.
I've never seen someone be able to advertise what they do in this way before. Like, she makes this shit sound like she's Jesus.
And also, I give them such a safe environment. Like, I mean, if you had an 18-year-old son, would you send him to me on his 18th birthday?
Rob, bro.
No.
Serious. Okay, so your son will probably lose his virginity after going to a club. He's probably been drinking. The girl might have done drugs. They then go back to some hotel or parents'
I don't
house,
think
whatever.
I'm raising him that way.
Bro, you don't. This is the problem, man. Y'all don't understand. You even if you try to raise them different, they will do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
but regardless.
What about if he falls in love and loses his virginity to someone he loves?
And what?
That's not gonna happen, bro. Come on, we're in like a post-apocalyptic society right now. That shit's not non-existent,
The
bro.
world becomes a really happy place. You're talking. It's unrealistic.
Yes,
When people
exactly.
lose their virginity, it's probably after a night out.
So it's more realistic I send my son to you.
Yeah.
Who slept with 1,000.
Are you saying,
guys
Rob,
in
that
a
your
day?
children are going to do what you want? Is that
On
what
your
you're trying to say?
18th, on his 18th
Because
birthday, I'll
they're
go and find
independent
him.
people,
They
Rob.
are.
No, they
They
can
are.
do. They can
Now
make their
he's
own decisions,
control it.
Rob.
They
Don't
can.
come out with that crap.
But
Well,
when you
I
say-
think my kids are. You don't have kids, and I think my
No.
kids are older than your kids. So de facto, I think I've got a bit more experience in being a dad. Because
his
everyone
18th
talks about how it is until their kids actually do disobey them, which they do.
No, they won't.
Right, Rob, on your son's 18th birthday, I'll be stood on the driveway with a balloon and a happy birthday card. I'll take his virginity, but I'll take him to a safe, controlled environment. I'm not going to cry rape the next day. I'm STD tested. I can educate him on a body. So the next girl he sleeps with, because if that's the girl he falls in love with, she's going to want a good shag. She's going to want to be pleasured. She's want to walk away from it and go, fuck,
Shay's gonna want a good shag. The fuck?
that was good. Yeah, I want to see him again. I want to stay loyal to him because he was amazing in the bedroom.
Rob, you should do it.
Do you really believe this?
Rob, do
Yeah.
it.
Okay, would you send your son to Bonnie, age 18, birthday?
I don't need to, but you need to.
I don't need to.
Yes, you do.
Are you judging me,
Yeah,
Andrew?
of course. I'm just saying that. Like,
Andrew, I do father and son as well.
do you?
Yeah.
No, thanks. But
Brother and
it's all happening at once, they say, and that it's not linear like we believe, and there's another dimension where everything happens at once. Have you seen Interstellar?
Yes.
Cool. So if you fuck her after she's been fucked, you're fucking her the same time she is being fucked, and the dick is in there with your dick, and it's all happening in one big fucking.
All right, we're gonna skip this.
25 whores on my boat because it's like I want whores on my boat. I want trees in my forest. They're just there because I've got a boat.
That is
I've got a boat and there's women on my boat and they're all beautiful and everyone's jealous of me while I sit there, and even though they all annoy me and I don't even want to fuck them, I just sit on my laptop. But that's just life. It's not even about fucking them. It's not about the sex. You're thinking about sex. This is beyond sex. Nothing to do with sex.
unless you're only having sex in ovulation, then you're gay.
Well-
Because then that's the only way a girl's conceiving really is around ovulation.
Well, my point is that if there is a slight chance, and there's always a chance.
Very, very slim though.
Okay, but if there's a chance,
So, okay, you're 50%
if
gay.
there's a chance of a baby appearing,
Yeah.
then I would argue that that is pretty heterosexual sex, because heterosexual sex leads to babies. What is the differentiator between heterosexual and homosexual sex? The primary differentiator between the two is offspring. So if you're having sex that cannot possibly lead to offspring in any way, that is gay sex.
Yeah, but who's to
If you're
say-
fucking a girl
Bro, these people are too good with their fucking words, bro. Like, they can make anything sound correct.
in the ass, you're gay. Why?
Don't
If
worry,
you're
I'm not
turning
doing
up with a
anal.
condom and fucking a woman on birth control, you're gay.
I do think the birth control shit is cooked, bro. Did never be with a girl on birth control or antidepressants or anxiety medication. If that shit, that's another piece of game for y'all. If you talk to a woman and she's on antidepressants or if she's on some sort of anxiety pills, leave, bro. That shit is bad news.
Do you do anything
you're
for
a-
pleasure?
if
Do
you're
you do
a-
anything just
if
for
you're
fun,
a white
Andrew?
man who gets his fucking balls cut open, I know white boys who voluntarily get vasectomies. They voluntarily have their dick chopped to pieces just to make sure they don't accidentally have a beautiful child. Like, how fucking gay can you be? This is all gay sex.
I agree with that. If you get a vasectomy, that's dumb as fuck.
If I have sex, there's a chance of a kid. That's the life I live. That's the man I am. If the kid comes as a blessing from God, good. If no kid comes, fine. That's how it is.
How do you
But if
think-
you were to say to me, Andrew, You can come have sex here, and there's no chance of there ever being a kid. It's just for fun.
There's always a
I would
chance,
say,
though.
sorry, I'm not gay.
Condoms aren't 100% reliable. So that day, someone did have a 0.01% chance of impregnating me.
No, but they're trying to not have a kid.
Well, how do you know? Did you ask him?
Well, if you have a condom on, you're trying not to have a kid.
Who said I didn't put a pin in it?
The man putting the condom on his dick is trying to not have a kid. The realest nigger there would turn up and say, listen, I'm going to impregnate in Bonnie Blue. You all keep the condoms on. Fuck it. I'm having a baby out of this bitch because I ain't fucking for free. So let me get a kid at least.
Crazy.
I mean, you got
That's
ever.
good.
I cannot marry you because of how you talk. A wife doesn't do this. I told you to be quiet 3 times.
What you
And
can do is
here
say,
you are.
go and get on that naughty corner.
That's right.
That naughty step.
So women don't want to be wives. They want to just get married, which means that the whole...
It's very true, though. Women don't want to be wives. They want to get married. I'm actually going to go back because this shit is interesting.
stuff.
Like what?
But I don't think running around... I mean, maybe when I was younger, but I'm an old man now. I'm old. I'm 38. I really have no interest in fucking dead puss. You know when girls sit and say, I'm on birth control. Disgusting. Vile. There's nothing more disgusting than a bitch on birth control.
Yeah, but I think it's
Dead pussy.
disgusting if women get pregnant and they can't afford to look after that kid, or they end up in a council house on benefits and that kid has a shit life.
This is...
We got a nice little comment right here. We got, oh no, not this one. This one. Why do these people get a platform, right? Because that's the state of the world that we're in right now. They're a reflection of where we're at in the world, unfortunately. Just the truth.
This is good. Bonnie,
Well,
this
that's
is good.
good.
No, let me explain.
We're going to run out of beans.
No, let me explain. This is a great thing. Feminism's led us here, and we voted to let in all these migrants, and all these migrants turn up and rape the state. Look, I've got hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
If I got a woman pregnant and she annoyed me, I'd say, yeah, call the council. Fuck you. Let's just rape the state like everyone else does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm brown enough. I'm black enough. I can do it. Put her in Marsh Farm, Luton, where I'm from. Be fine.
You wouldn't do that.
Who gives a fuck?
You wouldn't do that.
Who
Yeah, but that's your
cares?
kid.
She better text me respectfully. She can be rich. If she texts me beef, I'll be like, call the council, get a council house, whatever. Let's have kids. Let's just all live off the government. This is feminism. Because...
I mean, he's not lying. That is feminism, though. Have kids, live off the government. Bullshit.
You don't live off the government if you have a husband. They don't want husbands. And they don't want husbands. Women want to get married, but they don't want husbands. They want to get married like Sex in the City style. You know, like you fuck a million men, then you get married to some really rich guy who lets you do whatever you want. Then you have an affair with the gardener, and then you spend all his money, and then somehow you're still the victim. That's the kind of marriage they want.
That's
they
most
don't
women's
wanna,
dream.
That's right. They don't actually want to be wives, because wives are
I'm not gonna lie, he's not lying here. This is a complete fact. Complete fact.
obedient, and wives are quiet, and wives listen. All women say this. I want to marry you. I want to marry you. Wait till you're in an argument with them and read their messages and go, this is why I will never marry you. This is why I will never marry you.
Shit.
I read their messages and they don't realize that they've ruined their chance forever. I cannot marry you because of how you talk. A wife doesn't do this. I told you to be quiet 3 times.
What you
And
can do is
here you
say,
are.
go and get on that naughty corner.
That's right.
That naughty step.
So women don't want to be wives. They want to just get married, which means that the whole familiar structure is broken.
All right, I'm gonna pause this real quick because this was a good one. What do I think about home math's content? So I'm actually gonna make a video with home math because he literally put out a tweet that said that he was the most miserable man alive at the age of 45 and that he would never ever live a successful life. And he's the same guy that all of you guys are listening to, taking dating advice from. He's single. He has no fucking woman. He's literally a loser. He's smart, but he's a fucking loser. But he's trying to teach you about women when he's never really had the experience. So come on, you know what I mean? Like I don't really understand.
Once the family structure is broken, who has to take the place? Government. Think about this. In Romania, we have no mental health care. Why are there no mental people or out in the streets? Family. We have no forced child support. Why are women not starving to death? Family. We have no disability care. Why are people not sitting on the streets with no legs? Family. Family does so much work. In the West, we have no family. So the government has to come along and offer mental health care, disability care, forced child support. The government has to do it because of feminism. So what I'm saying is if women don't want to get married to men anymore and they all want to listen to the fucking government, then the government can raise the motherfucking kids. Fine.
Oh, shit.
Rob, you put 4 women in front of me, all different flavors. You give me Indian, Chinese, black, white, whatever. And you say you fuck them all and have a kid out of all of them and they'll all be raised on council estates around England. I'd say no problem.
This
Why
dude
not?
is crazy.
Why the fuck not? If they're real niggers, they'll survive.
He said real nigger. Yo, I cannot.
But you don't feel guilty that's your child.
Why would I feel guilty?
Because
How I
that's
was
your
raised?
child, it's your DNA.
Of course. And if the woman's nice to me and says, Andrew, I'm tired of living in Runcorn.
But the
Can I come live in
kids
Dubai in a
shouldn't-
mansion? I'll say, of
Yeah.
course, my dear.
Then, for like,
And
the
then,
kids
but
have to
then,
take the
but
hit
then
of
if she
it.
annoys me, if she's like, oh, I'm here in Dubai and you left me by myself and you're with all these other women, who are all these whores on your boat?
Take
Then I'll
the
be like,
kid
bitch,
off
go
her.
back to Runcorn.
Take the kid off her.
No, I'm not going to take the kid off her. She can keep the kid. Just take
Yeah,
the
but
money.
it's your DNA.
Yeah, of course. And my DNA is survivor DNA.
But if
Survivor
you've got
bias.
a proper
If
wife,
I
that
have
other
50
wife will take
kids,
that
at
kid.
least 5 of them will be real niggas. I don't need the 45. Look, it's survival of the fittest out here.
This is now he just talking shit.
This is how it works. This is how my brain works. But you're saying, I don't know why we're going to sit here and create the logic fail of pretending it is wrong for a government to raise the children when that was a man's job, when men have had all of their authority removed. You want us to have the responsibility of a woman, the responsibility of a family, the responsibility of children, the responsibilities with none of the authority. You can't tell a woman what to do. You can't tell her to be quiet. You can't tell your kids off. You can't tell her not to suck dick. You can't tell her not to go out with her friends. If you do any of that, it's emotionally coercive behavior. That's a criminal charge in England.
Yeah, England is fucked. I feel bad for any of y'all that live in England. You're cooked.
If you tell your own wife not to go to the pub and fuck, you're the criminal.
But, oh, you're so controlling.
That's
Let
right.
me do stuff.
But I'm still responsible? No. It looks like the government has more power than me. So if you want to play this game and take all of my authority away as a man, you want to reduce me to nothing more than a tax slave. Well, then I'm going to play your game back at you. I have no authority, so I have no responsibility. I will look after children, and I will look after the women who give me absolute authority over their lives, who say, yes, sir, anything you say, sir, I trust what you believe in the world. I trust you're guiding us. I trust you to take care of us. Yes, sir. Those women are driving Bentleys currently, living in mansions currently. And the women who say, I don't want to listen to you, I want to do what I want, are currently in council houses. And I have kids with all of them. And I don't give a fuck.
Fuck.
Because this is my
Hey, Rob is looking at him like, Andrew, I don't know who the fuck you are anymore.
masculine imperative to impregnate. And when I die, no matter what you think of me, no matter what anyone thinks of me, no matter what anyone watches this, has a bad problem with me, whatever, I get to die with 100 children. I win. I had 100 kids. I was one of the most famous men on the planet, made hundreds of millions of dollars, spent a little time in jail, whatever. I
Slight ego.
win. Great life. Genghis Khan. There's men out there who go, oh no, I've got my 2 kids. That's enough. That's your choice. To me, it sounds like failure, perma failure. And the only reason they're doing that is because their women wouldn't give them more. Or they're afraid to have kids with another woman in case their woman finds out.
A lot of guys, so like I speak to, the wife wants another kid, but they don't want it because they know they'd have to work longer hours. They know they'd have to do more work. Yeah, the wife wants another kid because she's like, fucking hell, what's going to happen in a few months? I'm going to have to go back to work. I don't want to go back to work. Hey, I'm going to pop out another kid. So a lot of the time, I think the women do want more kids
So they want kids just so they don't work. Fuck. Cooked.
and the dads don't, but it's because of the pressure. They know that that additional kid
It's
is
because
going to
they're
mean in terms of
gay.
income.
It's because they're gay.
They're not gay.
They're gay.
Bonnie, do you think Andrew Tate is guilty of the charges against him?
I don't know. What's the saying? Innocent until proven... No, yeah, innocent until proven guilty. Are you a
But
rapist?
what do you really think? What do you think?
No, I think why would he? He gets pussy easy enough. Why go and cause drama for yourself? That's
Bonnie
honestly
is
what I
the
think.
most based person. You know that you're probably one of the smartest women I've spoken to.
I'm quite smart. To
No.
say I'm a slut, I have a brain and
I will say she is pretty smart. She's not stupid. I think with her, she's very, very smart because she just took advantage of what the fuck was there. She just found a gap in the market, took advantage of that shit. Like, come on. Like, she's not dumb. She's very smart. She's doing exactly what it is that she knows is going to work for the environment that we live in now. Now, is it the right thing to do? No. But looking at the chessboard, looking at everything that's going on and trying to make your best move, you know what I mean? Now, let me answer some questions real quick because I saw a few. Do you think it's insecurity to demand absolute loyalty and submission from your woman? Fuck no. What else is there? Or should you partially listen? No. It's not insecure. If a woman tells you you're insecure for demanding absolute loyalty and submission, then she's just saying that shit because she wants to gaslight you. Like, bro, you absolutely should do that, especially if you're taking care, you're protecting, you're providing, you're doing all the shit that you're supposed to do as a man, bro. You absolutely should demand that shit because what else will she bring to the table? Like, let's be real, fellas. Like, yeah, it's not insecurity. If you're going through that shit right now and she's questioning that shit, leave her right now.
And I am smart only in what I do. For example, like if you ask me about sex work, media, or marketing, I've got an answer. You ask me about other shit, I don't know. I don't even know where. I thought it was on an island right now. We're not. But I think, why would someone like Andrew go and rape someone? He can get as like unlimited.
Again, it's because it's the same Me Too shit that I'm saying. His whole entire mental model is I want to fuck as many women as humanly possible. Okay, if that's the case, then you're going to have cases, especially now that the government has empowered women to be able to literally weaponize sex against men by saying, "Oh, because I didn't like this specific thing that you said about me, you raped me." Okay, cool. So because of that, I'm going to take you to court and I'm going to ruin your reputation. And literally, it will destroy your reputation if you have that. So fellas, be careful. Be careful.
Limited pussy. Why cause a headache for yourself? Why go and pay a lawyer? Why give more money to the government? He could just join my queue. I've seen him there multiple times.
Oh,
All right, I was with you till then.
do
Do you think like men are the lowest in society now?
I think men, if they speak out, they literally don't have a word against women nowadays. Especially if you, with rape, there is a lot of men that get away with it, and that's terrible. But there's a lot of girls that just haven't got the right way, and the next day they cry rape. And I'm not saying that's all women. Rape does happen. It happens regardless. But like blaming Andrew for that, it's just girls that want attention. Those girls come forward like, oh my God, I'm the girl that Andrew Tate raped. Their Instagram will shoot through the roof. They'll get paid. They'll probably get some
She's not dumb. I give her that. She's not stupid.
sort of clothing brand deal because it's, oh my God, it's women empowerment. Look, you spoke out against someone that's, so hated. They'll be credited.
I'm about to see this shit real quick. Hold on. What's your opinion on males and females looking for a complete 50-50 relationship? If you are looking for a 50-50 relationship, respectfully, you're fucked. Because I don't think there's many women nowadays that look for 50-50 relationships. It's not, the dynamic starts to get all fucked up. I'm assuming you're thinking financially. Like the dynamic gets really fucked up. It's just weird. Like, it's ideal for a man to say, oh, I'm with somebody, it'll be 50-50, it'll be all of that. Like, nah, bro. Like, the 50-50 stuff never works out. The dynamics in the relationship always get fucked. I wish it wasn't like that, and I wish I was not telling the truth, but unfortunately I am. I don't think that 50-50 relationships actually work out at all. Women will secretly want another man who can allow for her to not have to handle too much of the finances at all. Like 70-30 kind of works, 80-20 works, shit like that. When you get to 50-50, bro, like that's your roommate, bro. That's just your roommate. I don't want that dynamic, which is why I don't like the 50-50 shit. Because that almost creates that roommate dynamic. Fuck that.
Credited, even though their stories are fake. They're the ones that will get praised.
100%. Bonnie is
But
smart.
you blame feminism on it.
Well, I blame a society in which women have been told that they can do and have anything they want all of the time. And we live in this unrealistic subsect of events. The world we now live in is completely unrealistic on basically every
That's
level.
how Bonnie is living, isn't it?
Well, no, I think Bonnie is actually taking...
I'm not crying rape. I'm not
She's
saying,
not crying rape.
people are taking advantage of me. I'm there saying, look,
Yeah, I actually respect her because at least she's not weaponizing that shit. I don't respect her for what she does, but I respect the fact that she's literally just giving men what the fuck they want. And yes, men want that shit. Crazy, but I don't even know why.
I'm a whore. My holes are open. Come do it. But then when women say I'm taking them back, I'll give you the stats that I'm actually reducing rape
but
rates.
Rob, this is important because Bonnie is the only person who is honest.
It's true.
Saying I'm a whore, fuck me, and I'll make money from it is far more honest than saying, oh, I love you so much, I'll be your girlfriend.
It's the same with the women that fucking have the little links and shit on their thing, OnlyFans and shit, and they call themselves creators or models and shit like that. It's all bullshit. It's literally all bullshit. They just can't. They can't say I literally pimp myself out online. Just say it. It's okay. Just be honest about it. It's not okay. It's fucking stupid, but you get the point.
Friend, oh, can you buy me this handbag? Oh, you won't buy me the handbag, rape. Or, I love you so much, let's get married. Oh, I'm unhappy in this marriage, give me half your stuff. She's the most honest woman of all. This is exactly what men should be hoping for, to meet a woman this honest. Because most women, no, because
you know, I agree with this. I think all men should hope to be an honest woman, especially like in her level of honesty. It's like, bro, if you meet her, she's not going to tell you, oh, I've never done this. She's going to tell you exactly what the fuck she did. And you either face that shit or you just, or you don't accept the reality. But at least the reality is there. There's a lot of women who act like they're fucking angels and they're not. That's the fucked up part about it.
Because most women,
I'm not going to hide my past. I'm not going to say, you know what, I'm really innocent. I'll say, you know what, yeah, I fucked 1,057 men. Yes, I want to get to a body goal of 10,000. But I am honest. I'm not hiding.
She wants to fuck 10,000 human beings on this planet, man. Oh my God.
It. My phone hasn't got a password. Like, I am just so open and transparent.
You want to get to a body count of 10,000 men?
Yeah.
Would you rather meet Bonnie, who tells you all of this, or a woman who goes, oh, really? No, I haven't really done much, when she's done everything and she's been a total fucking whore and she's lying to you, and then you marry her believing she's a good girl?
Yes, I respect honest hoes because they at least give you the decency of not taking them seriously.
And then she takes you to the divorce court and completely wrecks you. You know what? Men say, oh, my woman's not a gold digger. Go to divorce court. Don't talk about gold diggers. Go to divorce court and you will soon learn that every single female on the planet wants your money. All. I've never seen anybody go to divorce court and say, she's not after my money, funnily enough. She just wants to get a divorce. No, every single time they want
women
every
take
fucking,
the house.
they want to take everything. They're all gold diggers. So it's actually very interesting. I respect Bonnie because you know exactly what you're getting. If you show me a scorpion and I know you're a scorpion, fine. Don't put a scorpion in a fucking bunny suit. You understand?
With me, you get good technique and money.
You get it's honest. I respect the honesty of it. And people are going to sit here, and there are people who do it. They're going to sit here and go, "What Bonnie Blue does is disgusting. Ain't that right, babe? Ain't that right, babe?" And they'll hold Babe's hand, knowing that Babe's fucking worse. Babe's a fucking skank. They met her in a fucking pub. Three Jägermeisters in. She's prepared to fuck that guy, whoever he is, who's a fucking nobody. You're watching this at home. All you guys watching this at home. And you think your wife really loves you. Do you think I couldn't take your bitch? Of course I could. I think she chose you because she ain't met me, bruv. That's it. So, like, you're pretending your wife's any better?
Rob's like, yo, what about mine, though?
It's bullshit. I love Bonnie's honesty. And she knows. I'm going to bring her to court. You're my lawyer. I'm adding you to the legal team. This bitch is lying. She wanted money. That's it. So as a man now, you talk about the different forks and spoons and stuff. Let's talk about this. If I have a woman who I take care of and she's wifey and whatever, she's wifey in a certain scenario, that's fine. But if I'm going to put 25 girls on a boat, don't I want girls who are honest, who are open, who know why they're there? They're there because I'm rich and I have them there because they're hot and we all know why everyone's there. I'm less likely to get trouble with those kind of women than the women who go, oh, I'm so innocent, I'm so sweet.
Andrew took advantage of me. Andrew took me on a boat and this and this happened. Whereas like, you take me on a boat, guaranteed no, your lawyers aren't getting involved. I'll say,
bro, she's diabolically smart, bro.
If anything, I put it on you. That's more realistic.
Women get away with it, so as long as they get away with it, you can't blame the thief for stealing. You got to blame the guy who didn't lock his gold up. Truthfully, if these women get away with this scam and men want to fall for it, then it's up to them.
So what Bonnie's doing is a scam.
No, I just don't want Bonnie to ever, change up the game. Stick to what you know.
One rule for one and one rule for another, and that's what's annoying.
No, but I find this interesting because most people are too fucking stupid to understand these false dichotomies we live under. And let's take Diddy, for example, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not defending Diddy.
Yeah.
What he did was probably wrong. I don't know. I haven't followed the case. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know what the fuck Diddy did. The guy, he was anti-Trump. He hated me. Me and Diddy don't even like each other. The only time we interacted on Twitter was beef. So I'm not defending the guy. What I'm saying is that black culture in America.
Here we go.
The music, the culture.
Here we go.
All it is sexualizing women and whores, getting as much money as possible, being a gangster, waving guns around, fucking loads of women. That
sounds like you, my boy. It sounds like you.
It's the culture.
That sounds like you.
Yo,
careful. So if that's the culture that the black society is going to promote, if that's what the music is going to push, if that's what's seen as the end goal of success in the black community, becoming a rapper, becoming famous, having a bunch of whores, fucking a bunch of whores, being feared, having guns, being a gangster, being a criminal, if all of this is what they're pushing and they're saying this is the end goal of success, and then someone gets there and does it, and then we say, he was threatening women and he was waving a gun around and he was fucking loads of women. So what I'm saying is, it's very hypocritical, this society we live in now, where we push people in a certain direction.
Again, it's product of your own society. Both of them are products of the society. That's it. I'm about to answer some questions right now. I'm going to skip through this because there's probably going to be better shit to listen because it's getting late where I'm at right now. It's like 10 o'clock where I'm at. So I'm about to see. Hold on. That's why guys crash out, because they buy into the honest image that she sold him. And once the mask is removed, he sees the real her and he can't accept that shit. That's a fact, bro. There's so many men that I've seen, bro, that I know what their girls have done and shit behind closed doors, and I would not dare tell them one bit because they crash out on me. And then now I'd have a case because I would have probably ended their life for coming at me. And it's like, bro, guys crash out so much because they think all women are just so innocent and shit. You have to just assume the worst. I can't tell you. Like, you have to stop being so emotional about shit. Be logical with shit. You can't buy into that innocent image. They're always going to sell you the innocent image. Take it. Don't buy that shit. Always keep that shit open, because when you start discovering shit, you're not gonna crash out, because it sucks when men genuinely have that experience, because they don't know. They don't know that that's just a fucking lie. Ugh. I used to be that guy. Let me see. Do you think a lot of gangbanging posturing is misplaced femininity? 100%. 100%. To be real, and all respect to Andrew Tate, because again, I think he's been a net positive to men as a whole. But I think he does also have misplaced femininity, to be entirely honest. Let's see. Never chase a taken woman, even if the boyfriend is psycho, you are cooked. I mean, bro, yeah, any taken woman, bro. That's just, now you putting bad karma on you. Like, your life is not gonna go well doing that shit, bro. Like, not if you didn't know, you didn't know. But don't knowingly do that shit, you know?
And then as soon as they end up exactly where they're headed, we have a go at them for it and pretend they shouldn't be there. It is absolutely false to declare that women are not being sexualized. Women are told to be promiscuous now. Women are told to be sexual now.
It's true.
So when a woman ends up promiscuous and sexually liberated.
Yeah, it's like, imagine a woman over time, she's a virgin for longer than quote unquote usual. The friends are probably like, well, how are you still a virgin? Like, you should just do this. And they rush them into that shit. Literally, it's being pushed.
Who are we to sit and say, I can't believe this has happened? It's completely asinine. It's a double standard. It's a false dichotomy. And it's amazing to me that we live in this world. If you're going to have black rap music push people to be in big mansions with a bunch of whores fucking them, taking drugs and waving guns around, don't be surprised when black people do it. And don't be surprised when women end up as whores when we're telling women to be whores. If you want women to do something else, then tell them to do something else.
I don't see a single lie told here.
I don't know why we're surprised by it. The thing that's unsettling in all of this is still the role of the average man, who's expected to get far less in terms of loyalty and quality and standard from a woman than he's ever had, and pay a far higher price. Our grandfathers got a woman. He didn't have to be rich. He didn't have to even be famous. He didn't have to be successful. He just had to be a man and do the most basic things. And she loved him and he loved her, and they had a happy relationship. Our grandfathers got a woman for fuck all. Now, to get a woman who cares about you, you need to be one of the most famous, rich, well-known, drive a Lambo, this, X, Y, Z.
No, that's your reality, Andrew. That's your reality. That's what you chase, so that's who you're going to get, people who chase that type of shit. It's very simple. It's your reality.
The average man's fucking wrecked.
Yeah.
And the role of men in all of this is completely forgotten because nobody gives a shit about men. We're hypersexualizing women, and let's be honest, Bonnie is smart enough to monetize her own content. But most women who are promiscuous are not smart enough to monetize.
But isn't Bonnie part of the problem then?
Bonnie is a symptom
Yep. I said
Of-
this in the beginning.
society. I don't want to say of the disease of society. I could, but she's a symptom. She's the end result of the society we have built, which is why it's hypocritical.
Which you think is
For me,
degrading.
I'm living the best I can in the world that's already been built. I don't give a shit about changing the world. The
She's
world
not here
has
to change
given me the opportunity to do what I do and monetize from it. I'm going to do that. You
But
don't see
you
me...
said you thought you were a positive role
No,
model
but Rob,
to men.
Rob.
Well,
this
I
is-
am positive because you think of the day I fucked 1,000 men. If you was a rapist, would you go and find someone else? No, I've shared my location. Come and fuck me. Like, I'm reducing rape rates because when you have sex workers
Fuck. Bro, why does she make this shit sound like she's Jesus Christ?
that are available and guys want to have
'Cause I can't argue with what she just said.
sex, they want to breathe, they
She literally, I can't argue. She actually probably is reducing rape rates by a lot, to be entirely honest. By a lot. I genuinely think that she's reducing rape rates, bro. There's a lot of guys, like I said, I'm going to say this shit again. They are under fucked.
want to fuck. And if they can't find a girlfriend or they can't afford to pay for one, because prostitutes nowadays can be expensive, I'm saying, hey, I'm doing it for free. Just come fuck me. Take it out on me because I consent to that.
For free. Oh, yeah, she gets paid by OnlyFans. Okay, yeah, she gets the bag on the back end. I get it.
So I'm not promoting, people say I promote rape culture and stuff. I'm not. I'm saying, hey, I enjoy it. I get wet. I get turned on. I wank over my videos. Come and fuck me. Save yourself paying a lawyer. Like, I'm actually doing people work. Bet that day if you was a
Again, I can say that this is wrong. I can say this is bullshit, but there are hundreds of thousands of men that pay for this shit, if not millions. So clearly, I can't argue.
rapist, not that I'm obviously promoting it, but it's like, okay, well, actually, I'll just go and fuck Bonnie. She's there. It's easy work. She's already shared a location.
What she just said to you, does that shock you?
None of this shocked me.
No, but do you find it, would you disagree with it? What she's doing? Would you, when you hear what she's talking about, do you sit and think you shouldn't be doing that? Because I'm trying to lead you down a trap here.
Of course you are. You always fucking do.
No,
Right.
okay. Well,
No, because I think that I imagine for some men it is useful,
Yeah.
the service you provide. I imagine other men get probably a bit fucked up by it, and it.
do you believe Bonnie has the right to make the choices she's making?
I believe you do, she does, I do, we all do, as
Then
long
you
as
can't
it's
have a
legal.
then it's impossible to have any kind of problem with it, surely.
I think you can have an opinion on it.
You
but
just tried to cul-de-sac me there, didn't you, Andrew?
No, people who say women should be allowed to vote. It's one or the other. Either women do not have the ability to make their own decisions, or they do.
see, if I cared enough about what was going off or think I could change it by voting,
But you
because the
can't.
world is fucked. So yeah, I don't bother. I don't bother looking in the news or anything like that.
Of
And
course.
also, why
But you're
should I look at the
confusing me
news?
because you say you don't give a fuck about anything on the world and it's just about you, but then you're trying to promote that you're a great
I
role
care
model
about
for
men's
men.
mental
And
health, and I care about draining their balls and having fun and having orgasms.
Yeah, you know why she care about that shit? Because all these girls at home don't do that shit. So there's somebody right here that's doing it for them. Bonnie Blue, the reincarnation of Christ. Fuck, bro.
The only time I talk about the rape rates is when women are crying, saying I'm increasing it. So if you want to start crying and making TikToks
She's
and
not
making false
increasing.
allegations, I'll slap you in the face with the facts. The facts are 32% is decreased because of sex workers.
Women can't change the world.
Andrew's like, yeah, I was a pimp of that shit.
Let's look at this. Let's take this away from Bonnie for a second.
but haven't
Look
you
at it
said
in a
that feminism's just like
Feminism-
taken over?
Feminism was given to women by men. Men are the only ones who can project force.
It's very
Rob.
true.
Feminism is a male movement. Do you think if women march around in the street outside, anybody gives a fuck? The only reason they get away with it is because men stand around them with guns. Men enforce feminism. Men project force.
yeah.
If women really wanted to fight the patriarchy, and they don't, trust me, the reason they say they want to fight the patriarchy is because the patriarchy doesn't fight back. If it became a real fight, of the game. But when men sit here and go, no, women should vote, and yeah, I listen to my wife, and I listen to her opinions, and me and my wife are best friends, and I love what women.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, there's no such thing as best friends in relationships. You're in a relationship, and that's your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. That's it. There's no fucking best friend shit. That roommate shit has to go. That's why a lot of men aren't getting fucked.
Women think, but Bonnie shouldn't do that. That's hypocritical and stupid. That's dumb. All women, to some degree, are sex working. And the reason I respect what Bonnie's doing, if there's a kid that exists, and I'm sure he's mine, I have a vested interest. But if that woman's promiscuous and I'm not 100% sure that child is mine or not, then I have a less of a vested interest. And yeah, there's DNA tests and there's certain things. But before modern science, there was none of that. The only thing that gave me a vested interest in the child or the woman was the fact that my paternity was.
I want to know if Tate really believes that the women that he's with are not fucking with other guys. I really want to know if he genuinely believes that shit. I want to know.
Secured and it was guaranteed, and it was guaranteed. They perhaps do not have the options I have. But then, like me, if I go to Saint-Tropez, Monaco, Dubai, the most beautiful women in the world are begging for me all day, every day. When I go to Dubai, all the women that you men are Instagramming, and she's ignoring you, is chasing me because I've got the money and the status, which is what they want. But then I'm ignoring them because I can't be asked with the rape charge. So it's the circle of life. Do I blame men for taking what they can get? No. If there's a group of men around, there's a whole bunch of jizz, they should be too straight to pull that off. But one-on-one, if they can handle the time vortex, if they can get, a calculator and work it out, it is what it is. Sex used to result in children. That was the point of sex. And now
It depends which way you're looking at it.
Fellas, I think my mind is fucking fried. I don't even know, bro. My mind is, Flippy just said that shit. Look, I've been watching this video for 40 minutes already, and I start feeling how my brain slowly gets cooked. What the hell is that bullshit for in the first place? Hopefully, my commentary is not that bad, so that way it's not cooking your brain too
but yeah,
much. This shit.
It's kind of similar to something you said earlier.
Let's see.
Bad things happen to me in the future. I won't regret them either. I just don't operate from that frame. I really do consider myself far more a commentator on life than a liver of life. I am a vessel, but I'll observe everything from above. And what happens to me, this is just...
You believe in what you believe in, and you feel...
Like, perhaps it's because if you have an empty life, if you're a man and you're at home all day and you've got a basic 9-to-5 job and you don't have much going on in your life, perhaps sex is a lot more entertaining to you because you have all these beautiful women you see on Instagram that you can't fuck and you have nothing else you can do. But me, I can fuck any of these girls on Instagram and I don't really want to because I can drive any car in the world and I can go anywhere in the world and I have private jets and I have court cases to fight and I have an empire.
Now, this goes back to something that I've said recently. I said this in a post. I said, discipline is bullshit unless you have abundance. If you're in a monogamous relationship, you're in a long-term relationship, but you choose to be, but you have the option to have any woman you want. That's actual discipline. And that's respectable. If you can't get the women that you truly want and you just settle with one and you just cope, that's coping, right? It's not respectable. That's just coping. It's the same. If you can go get money and you've gotten the money and you've done all these things and you literally are just like, I don't need any of this shit. I don't need any of this luxury stuff because I've already had it. I could go get it. And you don't have, and you literally reject it. Okay, cool. That's discipline and that's respectable. That's honorable. You have to be in abundance to be able to demonstrate real, actual discipline. If you're not in abundance of a thing, it doesn't matter. If you reject that thing because you don't have it, it's cope. Simple, plain and simple.
And I can do podcasts. I can do so many.
And this is also Wizard Liz. She got cheated on by another dude. It's always these lame guys, right? These lame guys that don't necessarily, they could have never had women before. One woman gives them a chance, raises their fucking status, raises their image of themselves, and they go fuck around with other people because now because other women like men who are already taken. So then they have all these fucking options now. And then that's what I'm saying. I'm like, get with a guy who if a woman is actually looking at this, get a guy who has a lot of options, who wants you, who will stay with you. Because if you get a guy who doesn't have any fucking options, who is lame, then he's going to cheat on you when he starts to have those options because of you. It's very simple.
Amazing things that sex is just further down the ranking.
And this actually goes both ways too with women too. There are women who never really had fucking that many options or have never dated a certain caliber of a guy. They get with that guy, their fucking ego gets inflated, and now they go fuck around with other guys now because they think that they're now on that level. That's also another thing, right? It's crazy.
Things than
like
other stuff
me,
I can do.
Do you think you see a lot of men? Do you think it's hard being a man?
Yeah, for sure. They get so much stick and women are so protected now. And I'm not saying that's for everything. Like, there is loads of women crime. There is loads of women being murdered. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. But men's mental health is fucked. And women do nothing to it to help it. And then women are the ones that talk about everyone should be happy and positive. It's women that sit there on their couches with their 2 kids in a council house making TikToks and videos. Instead of thinking, right, I'm going to better myself. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go and get a job so I can help be independent. They don't care. They just do fuck all of their life. And men have to work so hard. So yeah, I want to pleasure them. Yes, I want to make them feel happy. Couldn't give a shit if their wife's having to go to bed crying because I just fucked their husband.
I actually respect that. I'm not gonna lie.
What's your biggest failure or regret, Bonnie? And don't give me none of this. No failure, no regret.
No. Like, I guess I didn't fall into the system for too long. I only expect stuff that like people should subscribe to me. They should pay for my
all times. And that's why society's fucked. Right now we have a stabbing problem. They don't talk about the fact that no one can pay the bills anymore. They don't talk about the inflation. They don't talk about the gang rapes. They don't talk about nothing. They talk about me and Bonnie. So well, Bonnie. And then a normal pen will do just fine. But I would.
All right, that wraps it up here. I think I went through all the main parts of this shit. Apologies, y'all, if this was brain rot. I still had to do this because this is relevant, and I was instructed to start commentating on more relevant topics, and unfortunately, this is relevant. I don't know why, but it is. Hopefully, you guys learn my perspective on it. If you guys like me reacting to certain or giving my input, giving you guys cultural relevant perspectives on things, culturally relevant perspectives, I will continue doing stuff like this. Send me videos on YouTube that you want me to comment on, specifically on masculinity, specifically on the social issues, all of that stuff. I'm open to it, but hopefully this was a nuanced presentation for you guys. You guys learned a lot from me, learned a lot from, you probably didn't learn shit from Bonnie Blue. Actually, you probably should learn some shit from her. Tate, Tate's just Tate. Appreciate y'all. And I'll catch you